$50 off MSRP. With over 400 new Subarus to choose from, you're going to find the new Subaru you're looking for. Terra Subaru Outlet in Hartford, exit 33 off I-91 at the corner of Weston and Jennings, or online at ProterraMotors.com. Call 888-799-1150 for details.
Are you struggling?
One minute.
Hi, this is Mike. And at the Good Feet store, we hear a lot about foot pain, but we also hear about back, knee, and hip pain. I'd like you to hear what Kelsey, a kinesiologist, has to say about the Good Feet arch support system.
As an exercise specialist, I've seen all kinds of things that people try to put in their shoes to get out of pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that they support all 4 arches in the foot.
So did you know you had 4 arches in each foot? Most shoes and inserts only support 1. And maybe that's the reason all those remedies you tried in the past just didn't work.
When the foot's placed in the ideal position, everything else up the kinetic chain works better. You have better balance, more energy. You're going to feel better. Being able to move freely and out of pain means everything to me. And good movement starts with the feet.
Come in today. We're located at 25 Climax Road across from Whole Foods. Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Book an appointment for your free fitting at goodfeet.com or just stop in. Walk-ins are welcome.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Nobody tonight said a damn thing. They want you to vote for a ticket based on absolutely no concrete idea about what they would do once they get in office. You said he got more progressive when he got elected governor. So you're saying every time he gets another office, he gets more and more progressive. I think that's exactly what would happen. Tonight, you did hear people say, well, we may not agree with them on everything, but at least it'll be joyful as they tax us into oblivion. I think the idea that you could run an entire presidential campaign based on the idea of vote for me to find out what's in it.
Wait a minute.
Terrified America.
Vote for me and find out what's in it. I don't know. I'm just running for president because I'm running for president. What's up, everybody? You know what time it is. It's time for Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. Telephone number 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Taking your phone calls and talking about anything and everything under the sun, all the news and all the views right here for 3 hours. I'm going to talk a little bit about Kamala Harris's speech tonight. I don't like the whole sort of prognosticating what she's going to talk about. Okay, let's be honest. Nothing. But we'll talk a little bit about what we won't hear. There'll be a lot of, the usual. The puff stuff. I want to make this. I want to make that. I want to do this. I want to do that. We need to. You need to. I will. All that stuff. The proclamations. We know what happens. It happens every time. I don't even want to get into Tim Walz's speech last night. Other than the fact that, why does this guy keep talking about mind your own business? Why is he talking about that? Why are people in the Democrat Party cheering mind your own business? Do you understand if that party took that notion, minding your own business, we wouldn't have half the problems we have right now? Everything that is an issue on the Democrat side is them minding our business. They don't let us. We can't go around doing what we want to do or behaving the way we want to behave. We can't believe what we want to believe. No, not at all. It is all about telling us what we need to do, what we need to appreciate, what we can't say. They don't seem to be minding their own damn business, but we'll get into that as well. But before anything, hear me out. Do you know how everyone's talking about how the African-American community is running away from the Democrat Party? Do you notice that that's happening right now? The Democrats are acknowledging that they have a male problem. They have a man problem. Here's Dana Bash from CNN saying something very interesting about what Democrats are trying to do or how they're trying to court certain men. Hear me out.
They are doing so in trying to put forward male figures, Tim Walz being one of them, Doug Emhoff last night, who can speak to men out there who might not be the sort of testosterone-laden, gun-toting kind of guy who wants to listen to Hulk Hogan and the kind of players that came out at the RNC.
So they want to go for a different type of man. One who is in touch with his feminine side. Now, I know that no group of people is a monolith. However, culture is everything. There is a Latin culture. There is a European culture. There is a hip-hop culture. There is an African-American culture, especially among men. And I'm sorry, this may not be politically correct, but black men will never, ever, no matter how much you try to shame them, they will never accept homosexuality as a normal lifestyle. They won't. You may not like that. You may be angry about that. You may call them bigots or homophobes, whatever you want to. It is never going to be accepted, ever, in the African-American community. Not amongst men. Not amongst men. And many women, too, in the African-American community. Again, not a monolith. This is a cultural thing. That's who they are. And the Democrats and liberals and leftists pushed that narrative into the school system. They pushed it into regular culture everywhere. And the worst place they could have done was put it in the music, the core of the African-American culture. Black communities hold their music sacred. That is an extension of who they are. Now, I know some people are going to say, well, Reese, aren't you black? Yes, I am. But things that I hold cultural may not be, in sync with many in the African-American community. I'm just Reese. I sound like OJ now. I'm just Reese. Truth be told, that's just the way it is culturally. Get around a couple of African-American men and have an open and honest conversation with them about the LGBTQ community. They won't even look over their shoulders to make sure that no one's listening. They won't do the whole, hold on one second. Let me make sure the coast is clear. They will tell you right off the bat. No holds barred. And everything inside leftists and liberalism has tried to push that down their throats. And the African-American community, men in particular, are never going to stand for it. Ever. Ever. That's why they lost him. And here's Dana Bash talking about how the new masculinity is Tim Walz? Really? Ask a real man whether or not Tim Walz, because he hunts and likes guns, whether or not they view him as a real man. That guy with the hands. By the way, have you ever seen that film called In and Out with Kevin Kline? Watch that movie. It's entertaining. It's funny as hell. Tom Selleck, Kevin Kline, Joan Cusack, Matt Dillon. It's a great film. Funny. But there's this one scene where Kevin Kline is he's listening to a tape that's supposed to, test his masculinity. And it's a funny bit in the film where he's the guy on the tape is trying to tell him to, keep your hands straight. And, they play I think they play some disco record. And they try to, the narrator on the tape is trying to keep him from dancing. But once the guy gets his hands above his head, it's over. And Any guy who knows what I'm talking about knows what I'm talking about. Culturally, for men, if you dance and your hands go above your head, it's over. Your friends will mock you. Hey, what's going on there, buddy? You want to get your hands below your shoulders? Yeah, just, do the guy's overbite, That's it. Just keep it simple. That's just the way that it is. But that's a cultural thing. But once you start waving your hands all up in the air and you're kicking the air and all that stuff like Tim Walz does, no, you're not appealing to average men. You're just not. And treating testosterone like a pejorative is it's hilarious to me. I heard this over and over again for the in fact, the mid-90s was a huge part of that, talking about finding your feminine side and metrosexuals, guys who can dress nice and wear Prada belts and nice shoes, and started manscaping. Remember that? Oh, I do. I refused. But I knew a lot of guys who got caught up in that. They started demonizing men wearing a flannel shirt in some way. You were an ogre. But not anymore. Men are coming back to that. And when you see a party politically that starts pushing that narrative and then starts demonizing you for being a man who believes that he should pay for dinner, that he should court a woman, that he should be in charge, that he should protect women, protect his society, be willing to fight physically, know how to handle a weapon, seeing it as a means to protecting those who cannot defend themselves. Once you start demonizing that, you've lost them. And black men in the last 5-10 years have started to recognize that. That's the reason why they lost them. You're never going to force that. Any group of people, guys like that, you're never going to force them into believing what you believe when you tell them that who they are naturally is in some way sinful. That in order to be enlightened, they have to lighten it up. Become a little feminine. Some people can only identify they see that as strength. They see that they see that as an identity. And I'm watching all of these people trying to figure out why they're losing black men, and they never look at the constant pushing of LGBTQ identity, LGBTQ agendas or issues, that black men would sit there and go, okay, no, they cannot. When I saw this thing, and I'll never forget this. When I saw a story about a dating app that was trying to shame men for not considering transgenders as dating possibilities, trying to shame them, calling them out on dating apps, I knew it was a wrap. I knew that they'd pushed that line way too far. And they were going to lose them in droves. The other part is that they tried to push poverty and sacrifice into a community that has always wanted one thing, and that is status and financial stability. We have spent 20, 30, 40 years trying to get the African American community to be financially stable, or to at least understand, or to be financially literate, I should say, to be financially literate. And now you have a party telling everyone that you shouldn't be rich, that being a millionaire or a billionaire is bad, to people who are trying to gain financial stability, who are trying to open up businesses so they can be like those who have started from the bottom. Now they're here. Now you're telling them, don't bother, live amongst everyone else. You will have nothing and be happy. You think you were going to get people culturally to glom onto that idea? No, no, no. Did you think you would tell an entire group of people, African-American men, be poor and gay? Yeah, that's right. I said that. Did you think that was going to work? Then you don't understand a thing. You are never going to win them, and you're going to lose them in droves. And I promise you, and I'm seeing these videos everywhere, people talking to people in the African-American community, and predominantly men, they are talking about Donald Trump in ways that you would never see in 2016. If I may use a quote, black men are out and proud to support Donald Trump. Out and proud. You best believe it in 2024. Let's get to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. Let's go to Joe in New Hampshire. Hello, Joe. How are you?
Hi, Reverend Reese. I'm right in front of my giant screen here. President Trump is standing by. The president of the Sheriff's Association for the Border is speaking. He's at the wall in Arizona, the half-completed wall to the left. And President Trump is probably going to speak in a few more minutes. But one of the statistics the sheriff just threw out, he said the last year that Trump was in office, they seized 2 million units of fentanyl at the border that year. This past year, they've seized 111 million units, from 2 million to 111 million. And that's just 1 year. And they've had hundreds of deaths. They've had over 100 murders. They've had like 1,300 felony arrests.
People think
he's going over all the statistics, and Trump is standing by, listening.
Joe, people think I'm off when I say this. It's not so much that the Biden-Kamala Harris administration don't care that all of this stuff is happening, from child trafficking. Now we just found out that they've lost over 300 or up to 300,000 kids. But the fentanyl thing, to me, it really says one, and I believe this. And again, call it conspiracy theory if you want, but I think there's evidence to support it. With that number you just gave, right, from 2 million to over 100 million coming into
111 million,
111 million
last year.
When you know that we are seeing upwards of 100,000 people a year dying of fentanyl overdoses or fentanyl, deaths, it to me almost sounds like it's on purpose. And now let me tell you why. Because this party that pushes abortion, pushes vasectomy, why wouldn't they at least be okay with 100,000 people a year killing themselves with fentanyl overdoses just to thin the herd?
Yeah, the number keeps going up, too.
That's.
Hey, Trump is beginning to speak. Do you want me to put my phone up?
No. Trust me, I'm going to listen to it during the commercial break, but I appreciate the call, Joe. Let me see if I can get Jeff in real quick. Jeff, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Go for it, sir.
Yeah, I'm here. So real quick, you're spot on about African American or black people. They really don't want to admit that any other African American or black person is gay.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's just not possible,
Yeah, no, they don't. They don't. Listen, the objective is that you cannot tell an entire community of people to be accepting of something that they've never. And we're talking about sometimes the guys at church and in the religious community, in the African American community, they are trying really, really hard to sort of swing into that direction and try to tell people it's okay to, this and that. It has culturally never been okay for African Americans to accept that lifestyle. It just is culturally. And when you have a group of people who are trying to push it down their throats and tell them that they have to accept it, African Americans have been, no matter where you are, they will push back on that because they will say, no, that's not happening. And they're very curious about a government or a group of people politically trying to push that. They are very suspicious of that.
Yeah, and the other thing, Reese, I mean, you're just spot on that. So it's let's just accept that. And the second point I wanted to make was, with Kamala Harris running as a woman, I'm not, Hillary Clinton got the majority vote, the big vote, not the electoral votes, but the majority vote.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the black community, as it's like to be called, I guess, or whatever, and the Hispanic community would be willing to vote for a black woman in numbers that they did for a white woman like Hillary Clinton.
Can I tell?
I'd be interested.
I will answer that question when we come back from the break, and I'll tell you why. And it is sadly the most sexist reason of all, but it's true as far as the reason why they won't. Hispanic men, black men will never vote for a black woman, or a woman for that matter, for president of the United States. And I'm telling you, when I tell you why, ask anyone, and you can ask anyone you know in those communities, and they will agree with you. And I promise you, I'll explain to you. I said this to somebody not too long ago, and they tested it out, and it turns out I'm right. There's a reason why they will never accept it. But I'll get into that at the bottom of the hour when we get back, all right? Just make sure you're listening. I'll explain to you why Kamala Harris will never win that vote. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views, and I'll go check out what Donald Trump's talking about when we return. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
From inflation to worker shortages, America's small businesses are met with challenge after challenge. Now, a massive tax increase on small businesses is right around the corner. This will impact 9 out of 10 small businesses and lead to job losses, reduced wages, and an economic slowdown. Visit smallbusinessdeduction.com and tell Congress to stop the small business tax hike. Paid for by the National Federation of Independent Business.
Men, when addressing the problem of erectile dysfunction, you want the right treatment for your specific medical situation, because every case is different, and finding the right treatment can mean the difference between just an okay experience and an amazing one. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and at our practices, we offer the full range of ED treatment protocols and can even combine therapies to help make those intimate moments special, both for you and your partner. At Northeast Men's Health, we're the leader in treating ED in the area. Our medical providers specialize in men's sexual health and understand that no two cases are alike, which means you'll get the right treatment for you based on sound medical evaluation and appropriate applications of medical therapies. Plus, we offer treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most men, you'll get your sex life back. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices in the Northeast to serve you.
And now, a WTIC news update.
74 degrees at 3:30. I'm John Silva. An arrest has been made following the death of an infant in Milford. Baby found in a tub in a room at the Mayflower Motel on Wednesday. Now Dale Kirkland of Bridgeport is facing charges of risk of injury and cruelty to persons. 2 people are dead in East Hartford in what police there are calling a murder-suicide. They say they got the call Wednesday to a home on Hilltop Farms Lane. That's where they found 62-year-old Naresh Kumar and 54-year-old Upma Sharma. Vice President Harris will close out the Democratic National Convention when she accepts her party's nomination for president tonight. She's expected to lay out her vision for the country and prosecute her case against former President Trump. We will have the Vice President's speech here on WTIC tonight. The Italian Coast Guard says the body of British tech magnate Mike Lynch was among those recovered off the coast of Sicily from the wreckage of that super yacht that went down earlier this week. A woman is under arrest on animal cruelty charges. State police say they found numerous animals at a home in Woodstock in various stages of neglect. Some had not been fed, had lacked water, and were dirty. And now Tracy Donovan faces over 100 counts of animal cruelty. WTIC News Time 3:31. Here is meteorologist Jason Catarina with the forecast.
A pleasant afternoon with a mix of clouds and sunshine in progress. The high of 77. Tonight with some patchy clouds around. A nice night for sleeping with the low down to 56. Partly sunny, pleasant end of the week for Friday with the high of 82. A nice breeze out of the west. Saturday, partly sunny, beautiful start to the weekend. A great late summer weekend upcoming. The high of 85. Partly sunny on Sunday. The high right back to 85. I'm meteorologist Jason Catarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
All right, sunny skies. We'll call it partly sunny. 74 in Hartford. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones down 197 points. The NASDAQ is down 288. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Did you know that 9 out of 10 customers would recommend AAA insurance to a friend? 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 people don't even like Philly cheesesteaks. More loved than the most loved sandwich in the city of brotherly love? Does that make us siblings? Well, we do treat our customers like family. Legendary service and superior coverage from AAA Insurance. Something 9 out of 10 people would recommend. Find out why at AAA.com/insurance and get a quote. Based on a 2023 customer survey. Insurance provided by CSAA Insurance Exchange.
Being injured in an accident can leave you feeling vulnerable and lost. You need a fast and fair resolution and a law firm that can protect you. At Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott, our team of personal injury lawyers have over 100 years of combined experience and will treat you with respect and dignity. If you've been injured, BPS lawyers are here to help. At BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a law firm. Visit us at bpslawyers.com. Bruce Newman is responsible for the content of this ad.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Fantasy freaks and geeks. What's cracking? It's your boy James Coe back with my brand new project, the Sleeper King Football Podcast. Look, I get it. Okay, there's a lot of fantasy pods out there, but we're going to keep this one light, 15 to 20 minutes, 4 to 5 times a week. And man, we are going to pack it with all the info you need, season long, weekly projections, and of course, sleepers. Follow and listen to the Sleeper King Football Podcast on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at HIMS, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free. With zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
1 minute. retire with Fuchs Financial.
The main thing for the majority of the listeners out there who are approaching retirement is I don't want to be surprised.
Helping you build, preserve, and manage your wealth.
So you've got Roth IRAs, you have individual accounts, and finding the right taxable strategy, that's going to be huge for you.
Tune in to How to Retire with Ben Fuchs, Sundays at 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. right here on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before and he knows Granger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
We're back. It's Reese on the Radio. News Talk 1080 WTIC. Telephone number 860-522-9842. Now, the question was asked, why can't African-American men or the African-American community get behind a black female president of the United States? It's easy. They can't trust them. They can't trust them. Not financially. Not to run a business. People in the African-American and the Latino community who are familiar with wealthy women in either of those communities, they are not known for their business acumen. Not that they can't do it, it's that they're not popular for it. People get mad when you say it, but it's a fact. Again, this is not me saying that African-American women or Latino women or even white women, for that matter, cannot be CEOs running multi-billion-dollar companies. Those are facts. We know that women do that over and over again. But my response is, are they popular? The answer is no. Let me give you a small example. I'll give you a snippet, okay, of what I'm talking about. I didn't go on Google. I went to DuckDuckGo. Give me the richest African-American women in the country. Billionaires I put in. Here's 15 of them. Indulge me. Number 15 at the bottom of the list, Jada Pinkett Smith. What company does she run? Nope, I thought so. It's a TV show. Number 14, Tyra Banks. Number 13, Michelle Obama. Not a politician. Number 12, Shonda Rhimes. Entertainment. Serena Williams. Athlete. Dr. Iman Abu-Zaid. Industry, medical, and healthcare. Emma Grede. I think that's how you pronounce her name. She's an entrepreneur, businesswoman, and fashion designer. She's worth approximately $410 million in 2023. But you don't know her. I don't know her. Number 8, Beyonce. Sure, she's a businesswoman, popularly known as a singer. Entertainment. Janice Bryant Howroyd, entrepreneur, author, and businesswoman. Never heard of her. How about Hajai Bola Shagaya? She's also a businesswoman and entrepreneur. Have you ever heard of her? No. Sheila Johnson. She's a business person, a philanthropist, program creator, and documentary producer. She's also an WBNA owner. I don't even know what that is. She's the first billionaire, first billionaire American woman, and first to have a financial stake in 3 professional sports teams? Anybody know her? I don't. Folorunso Alakaija. I know you've never heard of her. She's also a businesswoman and philanthropist. Number 3, Najina Kanyata, entrepreneur and businesswoman. Do you know her? No. Number 2, Rihanna. On the replay, Rihanna. She's worth $1.4 billion. And number 1, Oprah Winfrey. Her worth tops $2.5 billion in 2023. So there's no recognizable people that they can turn to and say that, oh, yeah, I'm familiar with her and her financial acumen and how she would run the country as a business. But when you have Kamala Harris going out there talking about price controls and giving away free money, that's not appealing to people. When you start saying you're going to go after business instead of emboldening or supporting small businesses, no, they don't trust women in that regard. They just don't. Not in those two communities. I'm sorry, but that's a fact. Hate it or love it. 860-522-WTIC. Let's go to Corey in Meriden. Hello, Corey. You're Reese on the Radio.
Hey, what's up, brother?
How you doing, sir?
Not bad, man. Been a long.
It has been a bit.
Heck, no. We had one quick question here. So I wanted a little bit of a comment because the conversation you're having is absolutely astonishing.
Okay.
Because yeah, I've seen no business women in Connecticut stepping up to the plate. I believe, except what was it?
Linda McMahon. Linda McMahon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the only one that I've seen here in I think it's been 20 years.
Yeah.
At least.
See, and that's the crazy part, is that she's nationally known. When Linda McMahon was first called in to be a part of the cabinet of Donald Trump in 2016, that rang bells across the whole country because of her relationship with WWE.
And yet we don't hear anything now. And unfortunately, obviously, the news with that company, that's a side issue. But.
Yeah, but you know she's part of the new transition team. He's named her again. He's bringing her right back in.
And I don't blame him at all.
Yeah,
honestly, it is a perfect fit, and women can stand their ground, and obviously she is one of the individuals that can do that.
Exactly.
But on to some of the points here, and maybe she could call in, and maybe she'll run against Chris Murphy or Dick Blumenthal again. Because did you guys see the news as of last night and today?
No, what was it?
The Second Amendment. Kansas District Court literally just ruled, I believe it was today, that machine guns are qualified under the Second Amendment. They dismissed gun charges out there, and this is going to be making headwaves. I'm sure you can look this up.
I'm already on it.
And not only that, but for everybody here in Connecticut, obviously we've had some tragedies here and all that other stuff that has happened. But again, the citizens of the state are more important. And maybe Matthew Corey is listening. I know he's running against, Murphy. But one of my buddies, he threw it up on Twitter under Trick Step. He asked the Secretary of State and Chris Murphy as of a little while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona has just been given the authority by the U.S. Supreme Court that they can check citizenship verification on voting.
Oh,
let me repeat that.
Say it again. Say it again.
Let me repeat that. The United States Supreme Court has now verified that the state of Arizona can check citizenship status for voting registrations.
That's right.
And I want that to ring bells.
Indeed.
Because a lot of people in Connecticut should understand what that means. And I called in 9 months ago after an investigation, and I know Todd was on the air, and a few representatives in the state were asking for me to see where the pictures were, where people were being dropped off in Meriden and Bridgeport. We had individuals being bussed in.
Yeah.
So, given that, there's a current outstanding comment apparently under that Trick Step account that the Secretary of State and Chris Murphy need to apply comment to this, because not only is his name on the chopping block, but the Secretary of State needs to now acknowledge that if the state of Arizona can now require citizenship to be verified at voter registration, guess what, Connecticut? We got a little less than how many days coming to November 5th. I want a comment from the state of Connecticut, including the governor, because this is a very, very powerful ruling that if Arizona is allowed to question citizenship, so should Connecticut.
So should Connecticut. That's right. Absolutely.
So I don't want to take up your time, brother.
No, but I appreciate. Listen, that info. Listen, every bit of what you just said was valuable info. Thank you for it. I appreciate it. No, don't worry about taking up the time. I got you, buddy. I got you.
Brother.
Thank you, man. Amen. All right, let's go to Frank, our good friend Frank in Woodbridge. Hello, Frank.
I'm going to tell you through my experience, the black men I know, they like their woman home.
Hey, look, I'm not going to lie. I'm that guy. I've been a black man.
I mean, that's the way I grew up in those neighborhoods. They want their black woman home in the bedroom and the kitchen. And
Listen,
I don't see anything wrong with that.
And again, listen, it's a traditional look. It is a traditional thing that, of course, it's considered. It's a pejorative now. It's considered Neanderthal now. I get it that the modern woman goes out there and she makes, she can, what was it? I could bring home the bacon and fry it up in a pan. I get it. That's all well and good. If that's the way that you want to live, that's fine. But culturally, Frank, and trust me, I almost knew that I was going to be pulling you out of the woodwork on this one. I felt it. But, look, culturally, like I said, I don't believe in a monolith when it comes to the African-American community, but I do believe in culture. And culturally, just like you as an Italian, you have Italian culture that is indicative of who you are as a group of people. It's not that you all think the same, but culturally, you follow a certain guideline, right? And culturally, that is just frowned upon. Is it outdated? Sure it is. But you can't force a group of people to accept a lifestyle just because you want them to. If they don't, you have to deal with it. They will never do that.
You could take two black women. One doesn't go to college, and the other goes to college.
Mm-hmm.
After that 4 years is up, that black woman is not the same black woman as the black woman who didn't go to college.
But now how do you? Now I think I know what you're saying here is that the college experience will change the outlook. I think that happens for anyone. But
they brainwash her.
Yeah, right. And it's funny that you say.
liberalism.
It's funny that you say that because again, I'm dealing with two just out of college young ladies now in the black community. Now, both of these young ladies grew up in the suburbs, but you wouldn't recognize that they were from the suburbs today because they are very power to the people, Black Lives Matter young ladies today.
Right.
But you know how that happened? The experience inside those college dorms immediately turned them into one of the youngest one. This one the family used to laugh at her because they used to say, "Oh, Lauren is going to grow up and marry a white guy named Chad." They used to joke about her because she was just so prim and proper, and the boys that she liked were obviously those of a boy band. But today, it's like, she looks at, what's his name? Kendrick Lamar, and he's the best thing since sliced bread. So, and the cultural change was once she got out of her suburban home life and got into the college life, and she went to a historically black college, so that played a role to some degree. But when she got there, that immediately changed, and it was all about power to the people and all this other stuff, in spite of the fact that she was involved in a shooting at a house party.
Right. You see, the black culture, this is where, I know you don't like this guy, but this is where I have to agree with Farrakhan. He said the black culture was the most beautiful culture in the history of mankind until the white liberals started getting involved and destroying our beautiful black culture with this filth called homosexuality.
But he said,
blames the white,
he said
the white community for that.
But see, that's the problem with Farrakhan. The problem with Farrakhan is, again, Farrakhan, strangely enough, Farrakhan could promote any one of those things that he wanted to, but he is so feckless where it matters. And what I mean by that is that he ignores everything that's happening. Remember, where's his headquarters? In Chicago, right? One of the most violent places in the country. He is absolutely silent at what goes on in Chicago. When we had the Fruit of Islam marching up and down Harlem streets, people respected those black men with bow ties daily. Farrakhan could give that same could get that same respect today with the Fruit of Islam in Chicago, but he ignores it, and that has always driven me nuts. I didn't realize what time it was. I got to take a break, Frank, but it's been good talking to you. I haven't talked to you in a while, man. Welcome back. Let's take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views. We'll take Everett and East Hartford as soon as we get back on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
This is Eric Miner from Miners Incorporated in Canton, Connecticut.
Eric used to have an in-house IT staff, but not anymore.
Certainly the difference between when we did it ourselves and having Tab do it now is that they certainly know more about what they're doing than we ever did.
Not only does Eric get IT expertise, Tab Computer Systems doesn't tie him or his company's funds to a long-term contract.
Tab has been good at helping us to do what we do well and what we need to do well.
Which is sell building supplies and lumber. With Tab's monthly service plan, Eric's company has its own IT department that has to earn his business each month.
I would not hesitate at all to recommend Tab Computer Systems to assist any small business out there.
No long-term contracts. Just another reason to call Tab today. 1-888-TAB-4-HELP. 1-888-TAB-4-HELP. Or visit tabinc.com. Technology's advancing business. Tab Computer Systems.
Don't miss this. The August sizzling sales event right now at Proterra Subaru Outlet in Hartford, the Subaru dealership with outlet pricing that will save you hundreds, even thousands over other area dealers. Check out these hot deals. Get a brand new 2024 Outback for only $27,998 and take up to $4,250 off MSRP, or lease one for just $259 a month. And with 0% financing available, you can save on finance charges for even more savings. New 2024 Subaru Imprezas, only $22,495, or lease one for just $199 a month and get 0% financing. Crosstreks, $259 a month. Foresters, $239 a month, and take up to $4,250 off MSRP. With over 400 new Subarus to choose from, you're going to find the new Subaru you're looking for. Proterra Subaru Outlet in Hartford, exit 33 off I-91 at the corner of Weston and Jennings, or online at ProterraMotors.com. Call 888-799-1150 for details.
Labor Day signal is fast approaching. Apple picking, fall leaves, and chilly nights are on the horizon. With Legacy Box, you can cozy up and watch something special this fall. Your family's home movies. Legacy Box is the simple, safe, all-inclusive solution for preserving your family's memories trapped on videotapes, film, even photos. After 10 years in business, Legacy Box is the world's largest digitizer. They've helped over 1 million families relive their wedding days, babies' first steps, and family road trips. Just fill Legacy Box with your VHS tapes, film reels, or pictures. Legacy Box digitizes it all by hand right here in the USA, and then sends it back on a thumb drive or the cloud. Future-proof your recorded moments today so you can gather the family and begin the trip down memory lane. Plus, for a limited time, they're offering 55% off. Go to legacybox.com/value to get 55% off. That's legacybox.com/value.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080. Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I'm not going to say anything about this song. It's Reese on the Radio. News Talk 1080 WTIC. Let's get to Everett real quick in East Hartford. Thanks for holding, Everett. How are you?
Good. How are you today?
Pretty good, sir.
Yeah, I mean, this conversation kind of went sideways, but I talked about the supposed toxic masculinity.
Yeah, that's
what we're talking about.
Trust me, same place. You're good.
Yeah. I'm thinking it's more toxic femininity. I mean, these women, the things they teach other women about how hateful they are towards men.
Yep.
It's really, again, it's like a derangement. It's almost like derangement syndrome. It's, oh, guys do this, guys do that. I've never done any of these horrible things these people talk about, and I know a lot of guys that have never done any of these horrible things they talk about. So, yeah. And does toxic masculinity infect women so they become trans men?
I think
maybe that's the new man they should hire maybe they should have had a trans man for the vice president. to show off the new masculinity.
It's interesting. I believe that the demonization of men by using terms like macho and machismo and toxic masculinity, as you said, the objective is never to do what it's intended, right? It was always about, and I said this during the women's movement of Gloria Steinem, the movement was never meant to even the playing field. People told you that, but it was about switching the hierarchy, right? Because if you want people to stay, if you want people to be at the same space, right? If men are at 10 and women are at 5, the objective would be, let's uplift women to 10. That's not what they did. They demonized men and started bringing them down towards the 5, the 6 area in order to uplift women. So you had to demonize men to win it. And all it was, they just wanted a power switch. That's all it was. They wanted to be in charge, and they wanted to put men as subservient instead of just actually doing what it was intended to do. Everybody's in charge. Everybody's equal, because they never want. Tyrants never want equality. They want power. Always want power.
Yeah, no. Divide and conquer. It's been mentioned since the beginning of time.
That's right, my friend. That's why I got to get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Thanks, Everett. How are you, Mark?
Reese, I'm doing real well. If you're southbound 91 coming into Hartford, you got delays from 34 down to 32 A and B, and again down by exit 28. Slowing again by 23 West Street and Rocky Hill, and another tap of the brakes down by exit 18 in Meriden. Northbound Parkway a little tight up by 68 and the E in Meriden. If you're traveling in the westbound side of 84, delays East Hartford as you approach the Bulkley Bridge into the tunnel. 84 eastbound slowing about 46 Sisson Avenue down into the Bulkley Bridge. 291 through 84, that looks good east of the river. 2 eastbound moving well Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound, you're slowing Harvard Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound delays 27 to 26 in Waterbury, again 23 to 22 in Waterbury. If you're traveling into Danbury, 84 eastbound delays from the New York-Connecticut line up to exit 5. Heading down into New Haven, 95 southbound delays 46 to 44, and 91 southbound delays in New Haven from 3 in toward the 95 interchange. And we have a road closure out in South Windsor right now. Route 5 shut down between Sullivan Avenue and Strong Road from an earlier accident from this morning. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
WTIC weather. For the rest of the afternoon, pleasant with a mix of clouds and sun, the high of 77. Just some patchy clouds tonight, a nice one for sleeping, comfortable with the low down to 56. Then a beautiful day to round out the week on Friday, partly sunny, the high of 82. A gorgeous late summer weekend coming up Saturday, partly sunny, a great start to the weekend, the high of 85 with a light breeze out of the west-southwest. Partly sunny Sunday, the high right back to 85. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and kicks off a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
It's 4 o'clock, Hartford temperature 74 degrees. Good afternoon, I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Police in Hartford say the deaths of a man and woman in town are being investigated as a murder-suicide. They got the call Wednesday night to a home on Hilltop Farms Lane. There, they found the bodies of 62-year-old Naresh Kumar and 54-year-old Upma Sharma, a married couple. Linnea Chanel, who lives nearby, tells WFSB she heard a commotion prior to the arrival of police.
I was confused and just a little scared because, you don't know what's going on.
Both victims were found shot. A third adult was not injured, and there were no children in the home. Officers say a dispute preceded the shootings. That investigation remains ongoing. In Woodstock, a woman is facing 103 counts of animal cruelty after state police say over 90 dogs, cats, exotic birds, a rabbit, and goats were found suffering from apparent neglect and lack of food and water. 59-year-old Tracy Donovan is charged. Troopers say the investigation actually began back in January after a property acquisition company reached out to the Northeast Council of Governments. The appraiser found the residents with a foul smell so bad they had to strip off their clothing in their garage and take a shower afterward. A warrant states that numerous dogs were emaciated and dirty. Wood shavings, animal feces, and garbage were strewn about the residence. The animals were lacking food, water, and veterinary care, according to investigators. Donovan was arrested on Wednesday on the charges. Bond was set at $150,000. It is the fourth and final night of the Democratic National Convention, which will see Vice President Harris accept the party's nomination for president. Harris's former communications director, Ashley Etienne, on why that speech will resonate.
Someone who sees people, who has a compassion and a care for the plight of the American people.
Former President Trump's running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, tackled the migrant crisis on the campaign trail today in Georgia.
Our message to illegal aliens who've come into this country by breaking our laws is yes. If you came into this country illegally, Donald Trump and I are going to work to send you home because that's what is required.
Connecticut's delegation to the convention there for one more night as well. Delegate Danielle Wong, the mayor of Bloomfield, says there's lots of praise in Chicago for Harris, but there's also a consensus that a tough race lies ahead.
We are not going to forget that we are the underdogs here, and it's all about the work, and there's a long runway between now and November. And so while we are all behind her and delegates are 100% in, and it's just going to break history, we are witnessing history, we do know that this is going to be a close race and we can't take anything for granted.
WTIC News Talk 1080 will carry the Harris acceptance speech live tonight at 9. 3 food banks receiving a financial assist.
Archbishop Coyne has directed $75,000 total to 3 food banks, each getting $25,000. The Seymour Oxford Food Bank, the Southbury Food Bank, and the Ecumenical Food Bank, which is in Naugatuck.
Harvard Archdiocese Communications Director David Elliott says they are confident the 3 food banks will spend the money appropriately to help those who need a lifeline following the deadly and destructive floodings from this past Sunday. The city of New Orleans has been hit with $1 million judgment in a case involving a police officer who was convicted of raping a teenage rape victim. Reporter Chris Miller has that.
Officer Rodney Vignair was first on the scene in 2020 when the then 14-year-old reported she had been raped. The teen described the nightmare that followed, with Vignair sexually assaulting her after taking her to get a rape exam. She said Vignair molested her 3 more times, the last one days after she reported him to New Orleans police. Her lawyers argued NOPD should have never hired Vignair, who had a misdemeanor criminal record before joining the department. Vignair died in federal prison 2 years ago after pleading guilty to his crimes. Chris Miller for CBS News, New Orleans.
Closing bell report sponsored by Bouvier Insurance. Dow down 177 points. NASDAQ down 299. S&P down 50. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Philo's got a world of entertainment for just one subscription. Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. And with up to 3 streams at once, you'll never have to fight about what to watch. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows, and save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC Plus. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals
work on these
like
arms.
Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing
Starting
Eve,
to look.
Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just
And 10.
Philo,
Coming in right after the drop.
You got it.
So what are you waiting for? Visit philo.tv.
I gotta work
and
on the
sign up
guns. The
today
guns
to
look
start your
weak.
7-day free trial.
Oh, you better get on it. I'm on it every day.
I got it.
Reese
I know.
On The Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, everybody, 5 o'clock focus coming up. And this one's a personal gripe of mine. Don't forget we got airing of Grievance Friday. We'll get into that for a second. But I want to give you an opportunity for you to win something you might like. Would you like to win a Reese on the Radio t-shirt? I would like to give somebody a Reese on the Radio t-shirt. And it has to do with tonight. Hear me out. Hear me out. Go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. Go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. Give me what you believe the over or under is on Kamala Harris's speech tonight when she accepts the nomination for president for the Democrat Party. Give me the over and under. 30 minutes is the over-under. Under 30 or over 30-minute speech. And you have a second chance to win a T-shirt if you can tell me if you believe over or under her speech will air before or after 11 o'clock. Now, here's the deal. In order for you to win, you have to get the exact number. Doesn't matter. Whoever it is, you only get one chance, the exact number. So, if she does a 30-minute speech, you got to say, if you want to choose the over and under, say, I think she'll do 33 minutes. I think she'll do 45 minutes. If you do think under, you think she'll do 22 minutes. Whatever it is, put it down. Your other chance to win, if you want to, these are two different chances in order for you to win the T-shirt. Over and under on the speech airing before 11 or after 11. You can even pick 11 if you like, but you have to come up with an exact time. So if no one gets the exact time, we'll then give it to the person with the closest. And the exact number will do the same thing. So when you do, go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com and put in your T-shirt size as well. And we'll make sure that you can get that, okay? Over, under on the speech, as far as how long the speech will be, and what time the speech will air before or after 11 p.m. I'll give you first crack at it, Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Do you think under or over on 30 minutes?
For Camilla tonight?
Yeah.
I'm going to go under.
You're going to go under 30? Wow.
Yep.
Okay. I'm with you. I'm putting it at 22.
Yeah, I don't see her going over it.
I think it's a sweet spot for her. I think it's the sweet spot.
Yeah, I don't think her communication skills are the best.
Yeah,
I think if you add in the cackling, it would go over 30. But without the cackling, if you don't count the cackling, it's going to be under 30 minutes. So.
All right, how about what time? Since everyone's been, for some odd reason, airing it after 11 o'clock on the East Coast, do you think they'll put her in earlier or after 11 o'clock? Do you think they'll do it like they did everybody else?
Well, I would say if they were smart, they'd put her on after 11.
Oh!
I got
That's
a feeling
gold.
this could be like a bunker kind of deal with Biden that Biden did in the last
Yeah.
election.
Yeah.
I don't think they want her exposed too much, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay. So you're the over on 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm saying keep her a mystery until after the election.
Yeah, make sure that everybody goes to
as
bed.
much of a mystery as possible. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, Reese, thank you very much. This traffic report being brought to you by Floor and Decor. And if you're traveling on the southbound side,
I'm going to say 38 minutes.
Okay.
She going to come on before 11.
Slow to get in
38 minutes before. Okay, I'm putting you in for that.
If you're traveling northbound 91, that moves well. Cromwell up into Winter. Westbound 84 is tied up just after 56 Governor Street into the tunnel. 84 eastbound slowing 48 into the Bulkley Bridge. 291 through 84, that's okay east of the river. 2 eastbound moving well. Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Aragodi Bridge. If you're northbound on the Parkway, you're going to see delays now.
And you said before 11? Do you have
before 11?
You got any particular time?
By 18, some slow traffic.
Like 10:59 or like 10:45
up to the Mixmaster.
I'm going to say 10:13.
Connecticut line out to 3.
Now that, my friend, is lofty.
46 to 44. Traffic and weather together
10:15, huh?
WTIC News.
10:13.
Oh, 10:13. Okay.
Brought to you by Floor & Decor. Unbeatable prices, unmatched in-stock selection.
Floor & Decor has more styles of laminate, vinyl, tile, wood, and stone for anyone looking for the right look at the right price. Your next beautiful space is at Floor & Decor.
WTIC. What would I show them to Biden for, Michael A? Okay.
For the rest of the afternoon, quite pleasant with a mix of clouds and sunshine, the high of 77. Tonight with some patchy clouds around, a nice night for sleeping, the low down to 56. A beautiful end of the week on Friday, partly sunny, the high of 82. There'll be a light breeze out of the west throughout the day. Then for Friday night, clear to partly cloudy, comfortable again, the low down to 55. A gorgeous late summer weekend coming up, partly sunny Saturday, the high of 85. There'll be a light breeze out of the west-southwest, partly cloudy, comfortable Saturday night, the low down to 60. Another beautiful late summer day Sunday, partly cloudy skies, the high of 85. Monday, a mix of clouds and sun. We'll have a couple of showers to kick off the week, so you probably want to take your umbrella, the high of 81. Tuesday, couple of showers in the morning, otherwise mostly cloudy, not as warm, the high of 78. A mix of clouds and sun Wednesday, the high up to 81. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Join us this Sunday for Tumulo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father and son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch the replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumulo Financial Retirement Planning with Integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
1 minute.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's also what a lot
Ready
of
to
us
go.
lack in our basement or garage. By switching to a Navien tankless water heater, not only will you have all the hot water you need whenever you need it, but you'll gain storage area as well. Maybe a place to display your space collectibles. Highly logical. Learn about Navien's series of high-efficiency tankless water heaters and how they don't just save space, but save dollars on your utility bills too. For more, go to tanklessmadesimple.com.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you
Thankfully, I ain't got to look no more.
We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new
I couldn't even imagine dating in this society.
$50.
Exactly.
Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
And we're back. Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. Like I said, if you want to, is that what I think it is? Now that I'm listening to the music. He plays these music beds, and I all of a sudden you start hearing is that's not TKA, but one of the members of TKA had a group, K7. That was the
K7.
name.
You got it.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. He is a good friend of mine. Yeah, K7. He is a good friend of mine. I love K7. Hilarious guy. He had that song, "Come baby, come baby, baby, come, come."
That's the song.
Yeah, that's exactly. I know. That's what I'm saying. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Yep, that was the song.
Yeah, I as soon as I heard it, I went, "Well, why do I recognize that?" He was such a good guy. Anyway, so Kamala Harris. What are the Kamala Harris's policies? And that's what she's supposed to be talking about tonight. She's in essence introducing herself to the rest of the country. Pick me because the other guy's horrible. Now, for the last 3 days, all we've heard is the other guy's horrible. He'll do this, he'll do that, he'll do this, he'll do that. So you have to ask yourself, there's nothing on her website that says what she's going to do. There's nothing on her website that says what her policies are. And the only policy prescription she's actually come up with has been tantamount to communism, according to left-leaning news outlets. So it begs to ask, what do people know about Kamala Harris? They're excited about her, right? They're at the convention. And there's joy that Kamala Harris is the nominee. But is it empty joy? Is it a bunch of empty calories? Folks, it couldn't be more empty. Here's an example.
What's your favorite policy of Kamala's? That's a hard one. What's your favorite policy of Kamala's?
Her being president.
That's your favorite policy position?
Oh, yeah.
How so?
Because it covers everything that she defends.
I'm really excited for her to restore reproductive rights across America. How do you think she'll go about doing that? I don't know. Fun question. I don't know. I'm picking and choosing. I mean, I really like most of them.
So you have to look at it broadly, right?
It's about what she stands for right now.
What's your favorite of Kamala's policies?
I'm trying to think. Well, actually, more of like, well, what Waltz comes in.
All of her policies, everything from I'm non-binary, and so all of the policies for basic human rights to have our own bodies and do with them as we please,
Her willingness to move forward on affordable health care.
How do you think she'll do that as president?
I think she'll work to motivate the legislature to vote in favor of it.
As like her as a person, just like tops out any policy. I really admire her.
Great. Thank you both so much.
So they don't know, and they're at the convention. Many of the people you just heard are delegates at the convention. They're super excited, Reese, super. Can't name a policy. So what do you think she's going to get on stage when she knows that every one of the people there have no idea who she is? She doesn't have to tell them anything. I'm Kamala Harris, vote for me. Hey, what are you going to do? We'll figure it out when we get there. Whatever they tell us, whatever they tell us, we'll go out there and we'll do it. Sometimes you just got to play along. You get there and, you look at the room and you say, hey, what's on the docket today? Huh? War in the Middle East? Okay, let's take some feedback in the room. What do you think we should do? All right, let's take a vote. Anybody know? This is what they're pushing forward. And this is supposed to be, please, folks. This is all an illusion. It's bad. Ralph is in South Carolina. How we doing, Ralph? Welcome back.
Reese, how you doing?
Pretty good, sir.
Couple things I want to bring up. First of all, probably 25, 30 years ago, I had started going to San Francisco.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful town, Reese. I used to go to Fisherman's Wharf all the time. Great place to be, restaurants. I mean, it was just a place that everybody should visit.
Of course.
I was there 2 years ago, and it is a dump.
Yeah.
People defecating on the sidewalks.
Mm-hmm.
The restaurants are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Very few restaurants left. Not many tourists. Trust me, there weren't too many tourists, and it's a shame what they've done to that city because it was a beautiful city. Second thing, Reese, I don't know if you heard now, our illustrious vice president candidate. They found a coin that he came out with while he was in Congress, and it shows a rank on the coin that he never achieved.
No way.
Yeah, they've got the coin.
Wow.
Now,
please explain the significance of this coin, because there's a camaraderie that goes with that you have to adhere to when you meet with other fellow servicemen. When my wife hit me to this, I was like, oh, okay. That coin is very significant amongst enlisted and former enlisted men and women. And
absolutely.
And the fact that he has it for a rank that he never possessed, the question is, how did he get it?
He passed it out when he was in Congress, showing who he was, and I'm not sure how it happened, but thank God it did. The coin popped up, and they have a picture of it showing he was a sergeant, but the high rank as sergeant, which he never achieved. He never finished. He dropped out of the service before he finished it and completed the course. Yet that's on the coin, which is, I guess, what were they saying about stolen valor?
Yeah, that in and of itself, that is stolen valor. That is personified. That is absolutely, forget about it. There's no argument now. And even his introduction, did you notice that his introduction still had his stolen valor rank when they introduced him again? It's like they're rubbing it in people's faces. Like I thought it was a misstep. I thought it was an accident. He misspoke. Now everybody's doing it right in everyone's faces.
Well, nobody lies anymore, Reese. They misspeak.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
No liars anymore.
Yeah, there you go.
Another thing I'd like to ask you if you've seen it. Do you remember a Kamala Harris ad showing her looking into a crystal ball and talking to the crystal ball and cackling with her? God for.
Please tell me. No, I have not, but I will find it.
You got to find that. It's and in my mind, Reese, I would be running that ad day and night and asking the American people, is this who you want to be your next president?
Oh, I got to find that.
She is talking to a crystal ball.
Oh, I got to find it. Thank you, Ralph. Let's go to Jim in Wellington. Hello, Jim. You're on Reese on the Radio.
Reese.
Yes.
What you don't understand, my friend,
Yes.
is that there is a duplicity
Mm-hmm.
to Kamala Harris.
Okay.
And that duplicity somehow means that she has to explain what the duplicity actually was before she actually knew she knew it.
That's a double whammy. That's a double whammy. And that will, listen to me. She already can't speak without a teleprompter. Can you imagine having to get her to answer that question without one?
Here's my idea. I can't get this one out of my mind.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, she was sitting with actors who happen to be children,
Yeah.
explaining the wonders of space.
Oh, my goodness.
And how space was a wonderful place to have space because there was so much space
Mm-hmm.
that you couldn't understand the space that there was space was in.
You'll be
and the children were all actors.
You'll be able to see the craters with your own eyes. Like, what am I supposed to see them with my ears? What?
Now listen, to your point about what she's going to say tonight. First of all, if they don't put her on at 8:00 or whatever, or not, whatever the best hour is,
Yeah, sure.
they're crazy.
Yeah.
They're nuts. That's the first thing. Because you're going to find out what she's made of one way or the other.
Right.
Number two, she can read off a teleprompter, so I got to believe the best speech writers on the left are going to write her speech.
I hope that I hope they don't put the word gouging in there.
Well, there won't be gouging, but I think there's going to be probably 25 references to democracy
Yep.
and Trump and everything else.
Yep.
Now, personally, who knows? I mean, and the final thing is, I don't know how many times people in that convention speakers have to explain to me how joyous I am.
Oh,
Why do
yeah.
you got to tell me how joyous I am? Every time I hear the word, I just take a look at how much it costs for a dozen eggs.
Exactly.
Hey, I'm very joyous, and listen, I want to do my part. I'm doing my part.
You know what? There's a good reason that the United Center doesn't have windows, because those people are living in a bubble. If they looked out the window and looked at the people of Chicago, ask them whether or not it's a joyous time in the Democrat Party. Chicago will tell you, where are you living?
And here's the last thing, if I might. I had a criticism of the RNC's convention because when Trump got up and spoke for I forgot how long.
97 minutes.
Yeah, he had a golden opportunity to reach out to people that were thinking about voting for him.
I remember you said that.
He spoke to the crowd. And that was disappointing to me because if anybody at that time had an opportunity to show another side of himself,
Yeah.
that was his opportunity, and he didn't do it.
Yeah. I'll explain. I explained that before, but I'll explain that again. But thank you, Jim. Let's go to Tom in Watertown. Thank you for holding, Tom. You're on Reese on the Radio.
Hey, Reese. Great talking to you.
My pleasure, sir.
So, first time ever talking to you. When I call the radio station a lot.
Okay.
So I'm thinking somewhere in the range of 48 minutes, to be honest with you.
Okay, you got
actually maybe a little bit longer, and here's why.
Okay.
I've watched her speak several times, and she absolutely loves the thank you session at the beginning of her speech.
Of course. All right.
So
you're going to go with 48 minutes.
I'm thinking 48 minutes because I think what she's going to do in the entire speech is make sure that she thanks all 50 states to eat up time.
Not bad. Well, last thing, Tom, what do you think? Before or after 11 o'clock? Because everybody's been on the air at 11 o'clock. The keynote speaker of that night has been at 11 o'clock. Even Tim Walz last night was after 11 on the East Coast. What do you got for her today? Before or after 11 o'clock?
I'm thinking earlier. I'm thinking 10:40.
10:40. Okay, just getting her right before. Okay. All right. These are reasonable numbers.
I will admit this. And as much as I make fun of her and this, that, and the other thing, and I think we're doomed, Oprah turned it for me last night. If Oprah says vote for her, that's all I need.
Hey, well, who was the guy who said yesterday, what do you mean Oprah's not there? And who makes the surprise visit last night? None other than Oprah Winfrey. I told you, never doubt me. Never doubt me, folks. It didn't make sense that Oprah wasn't on that dais, and she made it. So thank you, Tom. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for calling in. All right, I'm going to take a break in a minute, and then we'll get – if Chris and Tony, both of you, please hold on for me until after the break. I want to get you guys in. I don't want to short you. I want to get you an opportunity to get in. And those of you who wish to, go online, go to reasonoradio.com. Just write in, your name and stuff are going to already show up. So give me the over-under on Kamala Harris's speech tonight. Will it be over under 30 minutes? And if you don't want to take that one, you can take the other bet, which is before or after 11 o'clock. But you have to say a specific time. Doesn't matter how many people get it right. We'll get you a Reese on the Radio t-shirt. You just got to put in the size that you need to get. No offense, but if it's anything above 3X, we probably won't be able to help you. I'm not trying to be cruel here. I'm just saying that might be a tall order. So, within reason. But if you get the number right, doesn't matter how many of you get it right. If you get one, we're going to make sure you get a Reese on the Radio t-shirt. All right, just go to reasonoradio.com. With that, let's go to Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone. And if you are heading toward Hartford right now, southbound side of I-91 looks slow, 33 to 32. Another bump down by exit 28. Northbound 91, good ride, Cromwell up into Winter. Westbound 84 slowing just after 56, out to 45 Flatbush. 84 eastbound slowing about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue, up to 48 Capitol Avenue. 291, 384, that looks good east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury to Marlboro. 291, 384, that looks good east of the river. Heading toward Middletown, 9 northbound slowing, approaching Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. Northbound Parkway, you've got delays 66 up to the area of 68 N and E. In Meriden, looks like an accident reported there. Also some delays 15 to 16 in Meriden on 91 North. 84 eastbound Waterbury slowing 17 to 18. Westbound 84 tied up 26 in Cheshire, up to 22 in Waterbury. 84 eastbound Danbury slowing 3 to 5 against slow traffic getting by exit 8 in Danbury. 84 eastbound slowing again 10 to 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway delays 62 to 60 in Hamden. 95 southbound, you're slowing 46 to 44 in New Haven. And in South Windsor, Route 5 is closed down between Sullivan Avenue and Kimberly Drive because of an accident that occurred earlier this morning. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hi, Eric Hogarth with Johnson Brunetti. Tune in this week for Money Wisdom, where we'll talk about market volatility. Should you be terrified? Do you have a plan? Do you need a plan? Yes. Tune in this Saturday at 8:30 a.m. right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC. For the rest of the afternoon, quite pleasant with a mix of clouds and sunshine, the high of 77. Tonight with some patchy clouds around, a nice night for sleeping, the low down to 56. A beautiful end of the week on Friday, partly sunny, the high of 82. There'll be a light breeze out of the west throughout the day. Then for Friday night, clear to partly cloudy, comfortable again, the low down to 55. A gorgeous late summer weekend coming up, partly sunny Saturday, the high of 85. There'll be a light breeze out of the west-southwest, partly cloudy, comfortable Saturday night, the low down to 60. Another beautiful late summer day Sunday, partly cloudy skies, the high of 85. Monday, a mix of clouds and sun. We'll have a couple of showers to kick off the week, so you probably want to take your umbrella, the high of 81. Tuesday, couple of showers in the morning, otherwise mostly cloudy, not as warm, the high of 78. A mix of clouds and sun Wednesday, the high up to 81. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
4:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva. East Hartford police have a murder-suicide on their hands. They say the bodies of Upma Sharma and Naresh Kumar were found Wednesday night at a home in town. Both had been shot. One other adult in the house was not injured. An arrest in connection with the death of a baby in Milford. Little one was found Wednesday in a bathtub in a room at a city motel. 31-year-old Dale Kirkland, for now, charged with risk of injury and cruelty to persons. A woman is facing over 100 counts of animal cruelty in Woodstock. State troopers say Tracy Donovan is charged. Numerous animals were found on a property earlier this year in varying stages of neglect. Vice President Harris accepts the Democratic nomination for president tonight in Chicago. We will carry her speech live here on WTIC News Talk 1080. Meantime, former President Trump has been campaigning in Arizona at the southern border. His running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, was in Georgia, both addressed the migrant crisis. And 2 thieves have stolen a ceremonial sword and bullhorn from the office of St. John's University men's basketball coach Rick Pitino. Ryan Brown, a spokesman for the school in New York City, says the theft occurred Tuesday night. Says it's not immediately clear if other items were stolen from the Hall of Fame coach's office or others in the building. On Wall Street, the Dow finished down 177 points today. The Nasdaq gave back 299, and the S&P was off 50 points. Yanks beat the Guardians at the stadium this afternoon, 6-0. Red Sox idle tonight. They begin a series at Fenway tomorrow against the Arizona Diamondbacks. We will have that here, as usual, 6:10, the pregame on TIC. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Don't just live with foot pain. Find the Good Feet store nearest you at goodfeet.com.
From inflation to worker shortages, America's small businesses are met with challenge after challenge. Now, a massive tax increase on small businesses is right around the corner. This will impact 9 out of 10 small businesses and lead to job losses, reduced wages, and an economic slowdown. Visit smallbusinessdeduction.com and tell Congress to stop the small business tax hike. Paid for by the National Federation of Independent Business.
Dave Berger from Modern Plumbing Supply. Don't look now, but this year is half over already. Before you know it, your holiday guests will be at your doorstep. Didn't you have big plans to make over your kitchen and bathroom after last year's plumbing issues? Who needs that embarrassment again? Modern Plumbing Showroom has all the beautiful fixtures you'll need to impress your guests this time. Don't wait any longer. Visit us today on the Berlin Turnpike in Berlin.
Great design with you in mind. Modern Plumbing Supply.
You know, pain from arthritis is
1 minute.
on bone, constant pain. It can rob you of so much of the stuff you love to do, but there are effective ways to deal with that pain, and I'm not talking about drugs or surgery. Brian Shackman here. There are exciting new cellular therapies that can get you lasting relief, and the place to go is QC Kinetics. They use cutting-edge treatment.
While they're just now revealing Craig Mack's cause of death.
Yeah, I heard that this morning.
Move again.
Crazy.
I was like, damn.
Whether it's from arthritis or injury, you need to know. Steroids and surgery.
Age-related complications, huh?
Options.
Sheesh.
QC Kinetics can use advanced regenerative medicine to treat the pain, enhance your joints, restore your mobility, and give you long-term relief with no downtime. These guys have made thousands of people happier. The local medical professionals at QC Kinetics, they're ready to help you with this regenerative, restorative cellular treatments for your achy joints. It's the future of medicine. Check them out. 860-440-PAIN. Again, it's 860-440-PAIN. It's QC Kinetics. They're in Avon, New Haven, and Glastonbury. And that number one more time, 860-440-PAIN.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Weinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah, shit.
This is my joint, yo. I love this song.
I love Keith Murray. Keith Murray is a good friend of mine.
That's the best part.
Yeah, he is. Keith Murray is a really, really good friend of mine. We started with when I first met him. I shouldn't say when I first met him. The second time I ever met him, he said something very disparaging about me, and he and I formed a friendship because he called me the F word. I couldn't believe it. And then I told him about it, and we became good friends. It was a really horrible thing. Anyway, so we got a bunch of people who are opining. I guess they don't want to win a T-shirt because they're not going to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. They're just telling me. So Susan says, large T-shirt, please. She says 10:30, and she'll speak for an hour. So she's going to put her in 60 minutes. Susan, I'll make sure that, Susan, you are on the docket for that time. We'll make sure that we get it right. So commentary says over 30 and large. Okay, so commentary, if you're just joining us, this is what we're picking. You can pick one or two. You don't have to pick both. You can pick one or two of the actual numbers. I don't want you to have to get both right. You can get either right. The objective is, how many minutes will Kamala Harris speak tonight? The over and under is 30. So if it's under 30, you think 22 minutes, 28 minutes, blah, blah, blah. If it's the over, you can pick the number, 42 minutes, 48 minutes. A lot of people are giving 42s. If you don't want to put the over and under, I'll give you another one. Will her speech air before or after 11 o'clock, like every other speech this week? Will it air before or after 11 o'clock, and what time do you think she'll air? So that's pretty much where we're going here. So again, you have 2 chances to win. And when you put it into, ReeseOnTheRadio.com, when you put it in, I've already switched it up. I've updated the website. Just put your information in there and put in whether or not you want over and under, whether or not you want the over and under on the time, and the size of your T-shirt. If you get it right, like if you're accurate, forget it, you win. If you're close, you win as well. But you got to be close. I'm gonna give a berth of about 5 minutes. Nah, that's too much. I'll give it a berth of 3 minutes. 3-minute berth. So in other words, if she starts at 10:42 and you pick 10:45, I'll give you that. I think that's pretty close. So that's all you have to do. When we come back in a second, we'll take Chris, Lori, Mike, and Matt. When we come back. So guys, hang out. Do we still? Yeah, Chris is still there. Sorry, I just want to make sure. All right, so don't worry, you guys stand by. We'll get to you in a second. I promise. Also, the 5 o'clock focus is coming up. I guess I could tease it now since I've got 30 seconds. If you had to guess, poor people stay poor because of, and what's your answer? I'm going to tell you what I think at the 5 o'clock focus, but I want you to think about this. Poor people stay poor because of, and I want to give you an example because something happened today, and it's happened in my life a lot. And I think there is one universal reason as to why poor people stay poor. And it does have to do with money, but it may be a point of view that you've never heard of before. So that's the 5 o'clock focus. We'll get to you at 5 o'clock if you want to chime in or opine on that 5 o'clock focus. With that, let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading into downtown Hartford right now, and you're on the eastbound side of 84, you got delays about a half mile before 46th Avenue into the tunnel. Westbound 84 slows just after 56 out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. Southbound 91 delays 33 to 32. Another bump down by exit 28. If you are traveling in the northbound side of the Wilbur Cross Parkway, some slow traffic now from Miller Avenue up to 68 N&E, where we had an accident earlier. Northbound 91 a little slow up by exit 16, and Meriden after that, good ride up into Hartford and Windsor. 291 through 84 okay east of the river. 2 eastbound moving well Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 eastbound a little tight by 18 in Waterbury. 84 westbound some sluggish traffic. 26 in Cheshire up into the Mixmaster. If you're heading into Danbury, 84 eastbound delays 3 to 5. Again, 84 eastbound slowing from 8 up to 9 in Newtown and 10 to 11 on 84 eastbound in Newtown. Southbound 95 New Haven slowing from 46 down to 44. And if you are heading into South Windsor right now, look out for a road closure there. Route 5 is reportedly shut down between Sullivan Avenue and Kimberly Drive because of an accident that occurred earlier this morning. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather. Well, it's been a beautiful afternoon as we head on into the evening hours. Mainly clear skies, just some patchy clouds. Be a great night for sleeping tonight. The low down to 56. Then a gorgeous Friday here to round out the week. Partly sunny, the high of 82 with a light breeze out of the west. Saturday, partly sunny. Great start to the weekend and a beautiful late summer weekend ahead here. Saturday, that partly sunny sky, the high of 85. Remaining partly sunny Sunday, the high right back to 85. Then Monday, we'll have a mix of clouds and sun, a couple of showers around, the high of 81 on Monday. Bridgeport 75, Waterbury 72, it's 75 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Start your day with all the latest sports information. Matt Soroyce has updates from the Cordell and Cordell Sports Desk at 15 and 45 past every hour. Only on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Granger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Paid for by government.
Oh, a minute.
A secret hoard of 1932 $10 gold Indian coins have been found. These gorgeous 1932 gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck, and less than 500 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling the secret U.S. gold coin discovery a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you can own a piece of the hoard.
Yeah, Tony's out of there.
1932 dated gold coin featuring Lady Liberty with an Indian war headdress and a majestic eagle. With limited availability, you must call now. These 1932 dated gold coins are still in uncirculated condition with brilliant luster. That is 92 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-520-6468. Call now and you'll receive a free bonus over a $55 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-520-6468 now to secure your 1932 $10 gold Indian coins before they sell out. Don't wait. You must act fast. Call now.
It is your girl, Cammie. And I want you to know that when I listen to the radio, okay, I listen to Reese on the radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the last hour of the show. So get in where you fit in. 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. On the telephone, Chris in Wethersfield. Hello, Chris. You're on Reese on the Radio. How are you, sir? Chris? Chris, are we not there? Did he put himself on mute?
He might have.
Yeah, he may have put himself on mute. We'll try him one more time. Let's go to Lori. Hello, Lori.
Hey, Reese. How are you?
I'm pretty good. And yourself?
I'm good, except you caught me when I stuffed something in my mouth. So I apologize.
No problem.
Whoa.
What's up?
So Everett was brilliant when he brought up the idea of toxic femininity.
Yeah.
And it just was like, I called initially and then I had to step out, but I wanted to call back because it is so incredibly sad and true. And one of the things that, I mean, as a woman, there are certain expectations that are of me. And I am supposed to be pro-abortion, and I am supposed to be pro-trans, pro-trans women in sports and all of that.
Right.
Glorious Yahoo. And so
you become actually, Lori, just the interesting thing about what you're saying is as you're describing what you're supposed to be, in a world that told you as a woman that your options were limitless, now they're no longer that way. Isn't that interesting?
And that's my point, and that's where I was going with that. So I am very pro-life. Being an adoptee, it's very important to me to be pro-life, not just for religious reasons, but for personal reasons.
Wow.
But I think the part that irks me the most is that these women, these deluded, deceived, poor women are screaming at the top of their lungs that you're saying, oh, yes, of course, trans women and everything. Sure, let them into all of our spaces. Let them into all of our sports. Let them into all this, that, and the other. Except that now the patriarchy that they're screaming against, they're completely welcoming with open arms in every facet of our lives. And the irony of it is, it does not escape me, and it pisses me off. I apologize.
No, that's okay. That one's okay. That's acceptable.
But I wouldn't use anything else, like, anything else. But thus toxic femininity was born, and I don't like the fact that, even in college, I was taught by radical feminist lesbians that, to hate men and men are evil and yada, yada, yada. But, now it's just, coming out on the other side of all of that, there's no balance. And so toxic femininity is alive and well, and now it's flourishing. And it leaves women like me in a lurch.
But not necessarily,
like,
Lori. Let me tell you. First of all, I hear the people talking about this over and over again. It escapes me who it was, but I do remember it may have been Ben Shapiro very early in his career when he was starting to get some notoriety. He openly talked about this feminist movement that was losing women in droves, right? Like regular women, when they started to realize what they had to do in order to be a feminist, it was far from, what the Gloria Steinem was thinking of, that it became this attack on men and attack on, I'll be honest with you, I'll never forget the moment my wife saw the curriculum that her son was learning in class about demonizing men, demonizing boys, that literature that his teacher had him learning. And she said, wait a minute, I've always raised my son to be a feminist, but in the sense of respecting women and their boundaries, and also understanding that they are to be treated as equal as anyone else, but never to be made to feel as though he wasn't an ally, or he was in some way diminished, or his capacity was only what was being described in these books, as if his masculinity was somewhat toxic just because he was a male. And she immediately started to recognize there was something else going on, that she had to pull away from feminism as a whole and say, this is not the feminism I signed up for. And I think that's what you're saying. Many other women are realizing it now, even with some women saying that men don't approach them anymore, or even have the guts to walk up to a woman and say, hi, nice to meet you, can I buy you a drink? Because they're always concerned that women today don't like that approach. And, women today are now rejecting it because, as Vance, J.D. Vance likes to call them, crazy cat ladies. But there are now more and more women who are recognizing that they're going to be alone because men do not want to approach this new feminine or femininity, as it were. Don't worry about it. You're not alone in that. You have a large group of people who are stepping out and coming to realize that this has been detrimental to women as a whole.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to see, like, some of the women that are stepping out and speaking up, like Megyn Kelly, that she is vehement about all of this.
Yeah, she is.
It gives me hope, because she is as fierce and independent a woman as one could be, but yet there's balance.
Yeah.
And I don't know where how did we get away from the balance? I don't want to be stuck in the kitchen. I want to be able to but
I hear you.
I want to be able to be an unmarried woman and not be given the side eye. I want to be respected for who I am in my community and what I do.
Well, don't let the culture dictate you, Lori. That's all it is. Don't let the culture dictate you. I believe that strong, powerful people never let the culture dictate who they are. I remember telling my kids when they were very young, never let anyone determine what's cool for you. You've got to say, if I want to wear an orange and blue shoe every day for the rest of my life, you've got to determine that that's cool. Never let anybody define cool to you. What you think is cool should be cool. And if you want to be a single woman who's a career, and, you want to have a man that you date who doesn't, sort of pigeonhole you or strap you down to some sort of ideal, hey, that's okay. You've got to be able to exist and be able to coexist in a world where women stay home and are homemakers, as well as women who are out there being career women who are not married. You have to be able to coexist.
Exactly. And don't get me wrong, I don't let culture dictate anything to me. But people will tell me this is what the expectations are, and I'm like, well, I've always exceeded expectations. So here we are.
I hear that, Lori. Thank you, my dear. All right, let's go to Mike in Howington. Hello, Mike. You're on Reese On The Radio. Thanks for holding.
Ain't no Mike.
Oh, sorry, Mike's gone and Fred's in his place. Let's go with okay, let me get Matt first before I get Fred. Hello, Matt. You're on Reese On The Radio.
Hello, Mr. Hopkins.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Pretty good, sir. I love it when he says it. How are you, sir?
Sound like dude from the Matrix.
Today, because I was bothering you all day yesterday. So, the 5 o'clock focus, if it's not too early.
No, it is too early. You got to hold on. You know your spot. You can't come in yet.
Well, I thought with all those people on the line, I'd be way after 5. But so for your T-shirt contest,
yes,
is that like the Price is Right rules, where it's
yes,
like closest without going over, or
yes, that's exactly right. I'm giving you a 3-minute berth. I'm giving you a 3-minute berth on the time of the speech, but you have to get close, because that's why I said I'm giving you two different. Most people are going to go for the time of day, but the actual amount of time of the speech, you got to be accurate. So the only time I'm giving you a berth is on the time of the speech, but you got to be accurate on the how many minutes the speech are going to be. So I said you have either one. Many people are picking both. People are going, it'll be 38 minutes and it'll happen at 10:48. I'm like, no, you don't just pick one. But I think people are picking two because they want two chances to win.
All right. Well, I tried to put it through ReeseOnTheRadio.com, but I'm not sure if it's sent. So
No. Try it again if it didn't, just to make sure. But I'm getting them now. They're lining up. I promise.
All right, 47 minutes though. That's my guess.
You're putting 47 minutes. Okay, good enough. I appreciate you, sir. And call back for the 5 o'clock focus. All right?
Okay.
Let's go to Fred. Hello, Fred. You're with Reese on the radio. How are you, Fred?
Hey, I'm good. So jumping back to something you started with about the dating apps.
Yes.
And disqualifying men who said they wouldn't trans.
Yeah, they wouldn't date a trans, I guess.
Oh, they wouldn't date a trans.
Yes.
Oh, okay, right. You know what? I'm thinking these apps these dating apps are just really, the man. Because back in the depths of the medical martial law lockdown, a fellow anti-vaxxer and I, brilliant guy, journalist, we ran into like an old buddy of his who, since we'd seen him last, he'd gotten divorced. And he said he'd been on the dating apps. And we were very curious, are you jabbed? And he said, yes. He wasn't particularly afraid of COVID, but all the dating people said, if you're not jabbed, get lost.
Wow.
So he got jabbed and he still never got a date, okay? But, just a thing about, like, who knows what's up with these things. And just real quick, anytime if someone comes in a room or if I'm in a car with someone, I'll tell them to put TIC on.
Yeah.
And then I've asked 3 people now, can you tell this guy is black? And they say, he's black? Nobody could tell. And I swear, that's attitude. You know what I mean? That's attitude. I've known some black people. You couldn't tell if they were black.
Right.
A few.
You know what? Let me tell you this. This will freak you out, Fred. But you should look this article up. I'm not gonna read the whole thing to you, but I'll give you a sum, folks. If you're interested, look it up. Here's the title. It's on BBC's website. It's still there. As Fred was talking, I was jotting it down just to make sure. Fred, look up this article by a woman named Caroline Lowbridge, spelled as your Lowbridge, one word. Caroline Lowbridge from BBC News. She writes this headline: the lesbians who feel pressured to have sex and relationship with trans women. Now, I talked about this on my podcast about a year or so ago. Those of you who follow Reese on the Radio on the podcast, you remember when I talked about this. This story talks about how these women were dating biological men. Many of them felt pressure to have sex with the biological men who said they were trans women, because they did not want to be outed as transphobic. You need to read this article.
Let me close with a quote. What a web we weave when first we practice to deceive.
There you go.
That first lie goes crazy. Thank you. Bye-bye.
I'm not a problem. This story, I'm telling you, it is, when I saw this story, I lost it. It came out in October of 2021. And these are lesbian women who were looking to date other women, but dated trans women. And many women in this article talk about how they were pressured into having sex with these trans women. And they felt pressured because they did not want to be considered transphobic. And when I was like, no way. The article will explain itself if you're interested in checking it out. It is that wild. And again, as I said in the opening monologue, you can't tell a group of people known for its machismo. Call it misogyny if you want. And I know people use those terms. It's misogynistic and it demeans women. Okay. You can say that in your little cultural, sphere, in your little, Ivy League towers. and you're meeting, your little champagne meetings and drinks in the faculty hall. You could say that all day, but you're never going to reach the common man talking that nonsense. No one's going to listen to it. But read that article, and women should read that article more so than men. The women who will read this article will say this in their heads. They will go, "What?" But that is what you've seen online is called the liberal mind virus. That's often talked about. That's what this is. That's what this is. You can't. Again, I can't even tell you. Every time I even think about it, and I know what the article says. When you read it, trust me, you'll be something like, Reese, why'd you even tell me about that? Because that's what's being done. And it may be happening in a small scale, but they're trying to broaden that. So, Kathy C says, and that's why I haven't dated in 15 years. She says, because, feminism. I feel bad for you, Kathy. I hope you're at least interested in dating again. Don't go out there alone. Everybody needs a companion, even if it's just a good friend. Everybody should find someone. I didn't think I was ever going to fall in love again. I got lucky. Really lucky, because trust me, I don't know how to date or to court at all. I don't know how I even got. I don't even understand how Roseanne and I said the famous line, Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. She went to go buy some shoes at Marshall's, and she put the shoes on the counter. And I told the woman at the counter, "Don't worry, ma'am, put that on my tab."
Wow.
My wife turns around, looks at me, she goes, "I'm an independent woman. I could pay for my own shoes."
Wow.
I looked her right in the face and I said, "That's cute. How much is that going to cost?"
Condescending.
Oh, yeah. I said, "Oh, that's cute.
Reese
How much
on
is
the
that, ma'am?"
radio. Condescending.
I'm that bad, man.
On the way, shaved her legs, and then he was a she. She says, "Hey, babe,
take a walk on the wild side."
Lou
There
Reed
you go.
way ahead of his time.
Said, "Hey, honey, take a walk on the wild side."
Yeah. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, it looks pretty good.
Reese says just law averages, my brother.
Crazy out there. Southbound 91, you're going to see
I guess it is.
From exit 33 down to 32 A and B. This traffic report being...
What's roll your third wife?
Fourth.
There you go.
From Cromwell through
Law of averages.
into the Windsor exits. Westbound 84 tied up just after 56 Governors.
My dad had 4 wives, and so did his brother, my uncle.
Slowing about a half mile before 46th Avenue up to 48 Capitol Avenue. 291, 384, that looks good east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 eastbound slowing by exit 18 in Waterbury. 84 eastbound in Danbury slowing from 3 to 5. 84 eastbound again tied up from 8 in Danbury out to exit 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway delays from exit 62 down to 60. 95 southbound you're slowing from 46 down to 44. 91 southbound delays 3 down in toward the 95 interchange. And if you are heading towards South Windsor this afternoon, we do have a road closure there, and that is affecting Route 5. That is shut down between Sullivan Avenue and Kimberly Avenue because of an accident that happened earlier this morning. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather. For the rest of the afternoon, pleasant with a mix of clouds and sun, the high of 77. Just some patchy clouds tonight, a nice one for sleeping, comfortable with the low down to 56. Then a beautiful day to round out the week. On Friday, partly sunny, the high of 82. A gorgeous late summer weekend coming up. Saturday, partly sunny, a great start to the weekend, the high of 85 with a light breeze out of the west-southwest. Partly sunny Sunday, the high right back to 85. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and kicks off a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
5 o'clock, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Police say the deaths of a man and woman in East Hartford are being investigated as a murder-suicide. They got the call Wednesday night to a home on Hilltop Farms Lane on a report of a gunshot victim. Lanaya Chanel lives nearby.
Maybe around 10-ish, we heard a loud screech. At first it was 1 or 2 cars, and then we saw like
5 and 6 come. Then we saw 2 ambulance fire trucks.
Audio from WFSB. Upon arrival, officers found the victim, 54-year-old Upma Sharma, and a man identified as 62-year-old Naresh Kumar, both of East Hartford. A firearm was discovered. Police say the two had been married for several years. One adult in the home was not injured. Investigators say a dispute preceded those shootings. Connecticut's delegates to the Democratic National Convention in Chicago are wrapping up their week. WTIC's Dave Mager talked to one of them.
Bloomfield Mayor Danielle Wong said outside of the nightly events at the United Center, it's been a busy week of lunches, caucuses, and mini rallies.
Just positive, inspirational gatherings and energy. It's amazing out here.
She says the consensus around Kamala Harris comes with the message Democrats are underdogs and must work hard through Election Day. She'll bring that work ethic back to Connecticut.
The 5th Congressional District, Tahana Hayes. You know, when Kamala Harris gets to the Oval Office, she's going to need a house that's going to work for her.
Wong says there have been a lot of good speeches, but she calls Michelle Obama's super inspirational. Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News.
The vice president will deliver her acceptance speech tonight, and we will carry it live here on WTIC News Talk 1080. Former President Trump spent part of his day in Arizona along the southern border. He says Harris will not be tough on immigration if elected.
We have a Marxist that's running, and I don't think you can let her. This country is not ready for a Marxist president. She will never build the wall. She doesn't want to build the wall. She's only saying if she changes her mind, it's only because she wants to get elected.
Trump's running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, talked about the migrant crisis during an appearance today in Georgia. 3 food banks receiving financial boost from the Archdiocese of Hartford. Archbishop Christopher Coyne is directing a total of $75,000 in annual appeal fundraising money to go toward the Seymour, Oxford, Southbury, and ecumenical food banks. David Elliott handles their communications.
We just felt compelled to action. Archbishop Coyne felt compelled to reach to extend a helping hand to those who are doing the good work in those areas to help folks get back on their feet or to ease their burdens a little bit.
He says the church knows these 3 food banks are reputable and that they will spend the money to help residents in need. Canada's 2 largest freight railroads, Canadian National and Canadian Pacific Kansas City, have locked out some 10,000 workers as contract talks begun in November have not produced a new contract. Teamsters represent the workers who have engaged in selective job actions, and the impact will be felt here in the U.S. as the country.
I don't know, Fritzy. I hope.
$51 million
I will definitely
in goods
ask.
each day.
Some of these goods could get diverted in terms of surface shipping on water, so we may see some more congestions at the ports. We know that story doesn't always end well, as we experienced during the pandemic.
CBS's Jolene Kent. Next round of ceasefire talks to stop the fighting between Israel and Hamas is set for Cairo. When they'll begin, though, is anyone's guess. Our U.S. representative is en route to the region. President Biden and Prime Minister Netanyahu spoke by phone on Wednesday. Correspondent Rami Inocencio was in Tel Aviv.
Sticking points, Israel does not want what they're saying a total ceasefire, but Hamas does. Israel wants to keep its troops in Gaza, but of course Hamas does not. And Israel wants to keep control of Gaza's southern border with Egypt. That is the Philadelphia corridor. And Hamas says absolutely no to that.
Wall Street markets down today. The Dow up 177 points. NASDAQ lost 299 and the S&P was down 50 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Sponsored by New Balance, South Windsor, and Avon, your headquarters for back-to-school sneakers.
This is Michael DeCibio from New Balance South Windsor and Avon, where you'll find both fashion and fit for back to school. With our large selection and fit specialists, we'll help you find the right sneaker in the right size so everyone goes home happy. Visit New Balance at Evergreen Walk in South Windsor and on Route 44 in the Avon Marketplace.
Glenn Zinn, the Luxbond & Green, truly appreciates the service he receives from Tab Computer Systems.
I think responsiveness to any problem that we have
whether that be a broken printer or setting up new computers or a quote for a new computer. I've never really had a problem getting information or getting somebody to help me out.
Tab takes responsiveness very seriously.
I think that's one of the really good things at Tab. The people from the person you call, or I use the customer portal to send a service message, I get responses right away. So there is good coordination with the staff, and everybody's just so professional and nice.
Fast response from professional and nice people. Trust Tab's nearly 4 decades of experience. Call 1-888-TAB-4-HELP. 1-888-TAB-4-HELP. Or visit Tab.
And 10 right after the drop.
You got it.
Tab to any other small businesses in Connecticut. The professionalism has been wonderful throughout the years.
Technologies advancing business. Tab Computer Systems.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man.
On the 5 o'clock focus today, poor people stay poor because. I want to hear from you. What do you think is the reason that most poor people stay poor? Now, I know there are some people because of their circumstances, whatever it may be. It might be drugs. It might be poor education. But I got to tell you this in the minute that I have to explain it to you. I really believe that people do not understand the function of money. So I've been dealing with this for many years. I want to say now for a little more than 10 years. Ever since I even got involved with U-Haul, when I started, working for U-Haul and now being a U-Haul dealer and all that other stuff. But I've dealt with customers who don't recognize that they have to pay for stuff, that things cost money. And they never seem to be prepared to pay for that item. They don't understand the function of money. That money is not something you save. Money is something you use. People want more of it because they think that having it is the most important part, but do not utilize its purpose, like utilize it for a purpose. That's what I think the problem is with poor people, is that they don't understand money's usefulness. They just think having it makes them rich. That's my view. I want to hear from you. 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Do you think that people get an understanding of money's usefulness? Or do you think there's a breakdown of that, like a sort of a gap between people's understanding of the usefulness of money?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think it's hard to say because people are just trying to survive at this point.
Right.
In the old days, you could save a little money here and there when you had a little discipline, but now it's almost like there's really no money to save because everything is going toward just your basic living expenses.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's just my perception.
No, and that's what I want. There are no wrong answers. I that's the reason why I asked the question. I want if people's different perspectives of why some people don't understand how to utilize money. Money is not, it doesn't make you rich or poor. It is your discipline with the item. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I think that's the view.
Like right now, I could put more money toward my mortgage. I think I have 6 years left on my mortgage, and I could put more money toward my principal every month.
Right.
But my interest rate's like in the 3s. So it would be stupid. No, but that's what you're saying. Understanding money, it would be stupid for me to pay it off earlier because it's almost free money. I could make more in investing more than 3%. So why would I pay my mortgage off early?
But you're making a very
money.
That is exactly right. What you just described is the point. It's like people only think of money as sort of like it's like buying eggs or buying bread or buying a car. It's far more complicated than that, and its usefulness is so wide reaching that people don't understand the concept of it. You can use money in different ways in different places.
Right. It's weird now because I'm at the age, where like hopefully I'll be able to retire within the next 10 years. So I look at the 401k and then you see it. You have to be disciplined. You got to say I'm in it for the long term. But right now, I really don't want to take a huge hit at my age. It's almost like I just want to throw it in a safe 5% fund right now until everything because everything is so up in the air. Everything is so uncertain right now. You don't know which way to go. So it's when you get to a certain age, you're kind of like, whoa, I really can't take a huge hit anymore with this. So
yeah, it's a good point.
Kind of a lot of stuff you have to start thinking about. But
Exactly.
yeah, money. It is a complicated and a treacherous ride, especially when you're thinking about your retirement. If you're heading into Hartford right now, westbound side of 84 Reese, a little tight as you approach the Bulkley Bridge into the tunnel. 84 eastbound's a little slow. Once again, 48 Capitol Avenue into the tunnel. Southbound 91 slowing 33 down to 32 A and B, and again down by exit 28. Northbound 91 moving well. Rocky Hill up into Windsor. 291 384, that looks good east of the river. 2 eastbound moving well. Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound is slowing as you approach the Aragoni Bridge. 91 northbound a little slow by 18 in Meriden with the construction. 84 westbound tight 26 to 25A in Waterbury. 84 eastbound heavy in Danbury, New York, Connecticut line to 5. Again, 84 eastbound tight up in by exit 8 in Danbury out to exit 11 in Newtown. And southbound Parkway delays 62 to 60. 95 southbound New Haven slowing from 48 down to 44. 91 southbound New Haven tight from 4 down in toward the 95 interchange. Route 5 South Windsor shut down between Sullivan Avenue and Kimberly Avenue from an accident that occurred earlier this morning. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
After a beautiful day, just some patchy clouds overnight tonight. Be a nice one for sleeping. The low down to 55 degrees. A beautiful end of the week. Mostly sunny Friday. The high of 82 with a light breeze out of the west throughout the day. Great start to the weekend. Saturday, partly sunny. The high of 85. Another beautiful late summer day for Sunday. Partly sunny. The high right back to 85. As we head into next week on Monday, clouds and sun, a couple of showers around, not quite as warm, but a humid day, the high of 81 on Monday. Right now, Bristol at 75, Mansfield 73. It's also 73 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Rosetta Stone is the expert in language learning for more than 30 years. Right now, listeners can get Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership of 25 languages for 50% off. Visit rosettastone.com/radio today to purchase and learn for life.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Philo's got a world of entertainment for you to just one subscription. Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, VH1, TLC, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. And with up to 3 streams at once, you'll never have to fight about what to watch. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows and save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR, so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC Plus. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no commitments and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's philo.tv.
It's the 5 o'clock focus. It's the 5 o'clock focus. I'm focused, man.
And we're back. It's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. 5 o'clock focus underway. But don't forget, you have until 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. on the West Coast. If you're listening to ReeseOnTheRadio.com, go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com and put in your guess. You can pick either. I know people are picking both. That's fine because you want 2 chances to win. Fine. I'm not giving anybody crap for it. But we're doing the over and under on Kamala Harris's speech tonight, which she accepts the nomination, which of course will air live here on News Talk 1080 WTIC. We'll talk a little bit about it tomorrow as well. Also, programming note, I will be filling in for Brian and Company tomorrow morning. So if you want to check it out, join me at 5:30 in the morning as well. So I'll be talking about that and so much more. So we're doing the over and under 30 minutes within, over and under 30-minute speech and over and under before or after 11 o'clock at night. And if you want to chime in on how many minutes you think it is, we'll give you have to be precise with how many minutes the speech will be. And we'll give you a 3-minute berth over and under, just 3 minutes on the time of the speech before or after 11 o'clock. So you can do that at reasoontheradio.com. Did I give my official number yet, Roland? Because I know I got yours. Roland gave me 38 minutes at 10:13 p.m. Have I given mine yet? I don't know if I've given mine. I haven't given mine. Okay, so I'm going to give mine now, and that is 28 minutes at 11:14 p.m. Since everybody else is putting in, the minutes at a time. 28 minutes at 11:14 p.m. Okay? So what was let me get to the 5 o'clock focus. Important. So I'm going to kind of throw my ex-wife, who was on the show, thankfully, yesterday. I love her. Good friend. She did something a long time ago that just threw me. We used to stay at sort of like a mother-in-law place when we first got married. We stayed at a mother-in-law place that our aunt owned the home, and it was like a little above the garage apartment that we lived in when we first got married. We were there for a little while. And while we were there, we would sort of partially pay the cable bill. And when we would get the cable bill, she and I would watch movies every weekend. We'd like to watch independent films, romantic comedy, stuff like that. I'm a big romantic comedy guy. Everybody knows that. I get beat up over it all the time. But we get the bill at the end of the month, and sometimes the movies that we watched would come to a cost of close to $100. And she would get mad that bill came in. And my response to it was, we watched the movie. Like, we have to pay for it. It's like, the movie wasn't even that good. But we watched it. It doesn't matter whether or not it was that. And that always bugged me, that people thought that because they didn't like something, that they purchased it and they didn't owe it money. Like, they didn't owe the price of paying for it. Not understanding, if you use something, if you utilize something, it costs. And I looked at the people who always complained about the cost of things, and I looked at their lives, and they were usually struggling because they didn't understand how to utilize money, what money is used for. It's not just for buying stuff. It is so many different functions, as you heard me talking to Mark Christopher about. So my question was, poor people stay poor because, in your view, it could be any reason. There are no wrong answers. So I want to take your calls on that. 860-522-WTIC. Let's go to Chris in Wethersfield. Chris is back. Hello, Chris.
Dude, Reese, I'm doing good. Hey, Reese, I didn't want to chime in on the 5 o'clock hour, but I wanted just to ask you a couple of questions and tell you and hope I could do that if that's okay.
Real quick.
Okay, real quick. Okay, I sent you a study on how cell phones in 50
I did see that.
80 countries.
I did see that. Yes, I did. I have it. I have it, and I will be responding to it. We'll talk about. I promise we will talk about it next week. I did get that.
Check it out. You remember you guys were talking about the speech tonight, okay?
Yes.
Well, you know what? Every good president has a good speechwriter. I mean, I know that you guys are jiving on that, but just look at the train wreck. These people start getting off task. Trump, all of them.
Okay.
Trump is. Yeah, he's.
I'll admit I wasn't a fan of that convention speech. It was way too long, and it was a rally. It was a rally speech, not a convention speech.
Exactly. And as far as the delegates concerned, not knowing anything what Harris is going to bring forth for a presidency, I can guarantee you that none of Trump's delegates or none of Republican delegates at DNC know anything what Trump is going to do, and when he comes out, because he doesn't know what he's going to do. The only thing I know he's going to do is send 20 million illegals back into Mexico. That's all I know.
Okay.
So as you guys are ripping the Democrats for not knowing, none of you guys know what Trump's doing either. He's not being transparent either. So you got to take.
Oh, no. I'm going to listen. You know what? I'm going to accept that challenge, Chris. I'm just going to do it at a different time, but I appreciate you calling because you know what? You are calling me out. You're calling me out, and you know what? And you should.
I just love
No,
talking
you've
to you.
always
I just
listened to
love
me.
talking and debating.
I want to say,
in an adult way.
Chris. No, don't take it as offense. I'm not taking what you're saying as an offense. You're calling me out, and you should. You should say, when you say, hey, you guys aren't describing it, you're right. You want to give me an opportunity to describe it? I promise you, I will do it tomorrow. You have that. You have my word. And I always appreciate that, Chris. Thank you, man. Love you too, bro.
See you, bro.
You got it, man. Let's talk to Christine in Middletown. Hello, Christine. How you doing?
Hi, Reese. Good afternoon. The story you alluded to it just before the 5 o'clock news got me upset. You know, I have to tell you, first of all, this is Barack Obama pushing LGBT stuff on society, and I can't stand any of it. And
well, that much I know.
Any trans woman who is on testosterone blockers, you can't use down below because you're castrated.
Oh.
And many of us know that women aren't really going to look for us because here's how it is. A lesbian woman wants a woman with a vagina. A straight woman wants a man with a penis. We don't fit those. There it is. And I'm not trying to push our way of everything. It's the fact that we push, but these trenders are being emboldened by the mainstream media and the Democrat Party, and we are in this big mess. I'm sick of all of it.
Well, don't, Christine, I told you. You know, every time I got to pull you off the cliff just a little bit. Don't let him go nuts. You're going to be all right. I promise you're going to be okay. Okay, real quick on the 5 o'clock focus. What do you think is one of the core reasons why poor people stay poor or people have a problem with money? Real quick.
I think, well, government aided, when you're on government assistance, you are meant to stay in the be in the underclass. So you're going to stay poor. Wow. And then some people, when they come across money, spend it too quickly.
And unwisely.
They don't budget, yeah.
Okay. All right. Good point. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you. Let's go to Bill in Granby. Hello, Bill. You want me to Reese on the radio?
Hey, Reese. What a great question. I spend a lot of time thinking about this. I grew up poor myself. I'm not poor now, but my dad was poor. He was a great man, but he was a lunch pail guy and, never made a lot of money. So I spent a lot of time all my life thinking about this.
Really? Wow.
For anybody that hasn't read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you've got to read that book. It's a great read. It explains a lot of this, but I think there are 4 key tenets. They're not the only reasons, but I think there's 4 key things that keep poor people poor. One is just awareness of how great this country is and the opportunities that actually exist.
Right.
Poor people, they grow up in circumstances where their parents they don't have opportunities. They aren't around opportunities. They aren't working with movers and shakers. They don't have a real lens into what is actually available in life. And so then you can't dream big enough dreams to get out of being in poverty. The second is education. So you've got to have an education or a trade in order to have skills that are valuable to the world that somebody will pay for.
Such good points.
All the studies show that a trade or education is the key to success. It's the key to self-employment or to employment with, as a professor or in a career, a teacher or anything like that, a lawyer. So you got to have education. Then you have to have a work ethic, because all the things that you need, if you don't have a work ethic and you're not willing to actually go out and grind and work hard, because you got to start at the bottom. When you're poor, you have to start at the bottom and work your way up. Nobody's handing you anything.
That's right.
So you got to be a grinder, and you got to really work hard.
All of those things, let me tell you something, Bill. Everything you just said is I agree with you. Every bit, that is exactly what you have to do. But there was one more that I thought of as you were sharing, and that is what you said about opportunity. There are so many people, especially those who are in the poor communities, who do not believe that there are opportunities outside of their either 4 walls or their 4 blocks. I used to say that to young kids all the time. Have you ever been in a neighborhood that wasn't familiar to you and dealt with or even gathered with other people who are outside of your immediate sphere? Because if you maybe play basketball in a neighborhood that wasn't familiar, and a lot of people say, well, I don't want to go there because they might be racist or bigoted, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no. Just get into a different zip code and meet different people, play basketball with them, get to know them, broaden your horizons. You might meet a kid that's into something that you didn't think was possible for you to be interested in. Because the guys who are around you are just talking about and doing the same things you do every day, right? So
you just check the fourth box. Opportunity is the fourth box. That comes from awareness, right?
Yep.
You have to be aware, and so when I was a kid, I never knew that you could be a multimillionaire if you were a cop or a teacher. I had no idea about pensions and the plumbers union.
Yep.
You know, my dad and I didn't sit down and we didn't talk about those things. And so there's opportunities for lawyers and doctors. If you don't want to do that, there's opportunities for welders and to join the union. And so having an array, a really detailed understanding of all the opportunities and the paths forward that suit your personal journey, right? Because some people want to work outside. Some people would rather work inside. Some people, you know, they're mathematically inclined. Others have better verbal skills. So you have to match up the opportunities and be aware of them, and then have the work ethic and the education to actually do the things that will make you successful. And that's really hard for somebody that grows up in an environment where you're not aware of any of these things, and your parents can't teach you, and you don't see it, and you don't see it in the neighborhood you're in.
Yep, you're 100% right. Thank you so much, Bill. Much appreciated. I love this call, man. Thank you so much. Let's go to Commentary, who's in Texas. Commentary's been dying to chime in on this one. What keeps poor people poor, Terry?
I tell you what, the last dude was a solid call, stole a bunch of my thunder, so I'll keep it short and sweet. You know, the short answer is laziness. The second answer is ignorance, and he touched on that when he said that, you know, a lot of people don't even know what opportunities are available to them because they're in the same fishbowl for the majority of the important parts of their life.
Yeah.
But I have a theory, and I don't want to take full credit. Somebody I served with in the military from Kenya, we kind of came up with this together, and that is, you know, poor people are poor because they came up from poor families, meaning their parents aren't very educated, and they don't see a lot of good examples on how they can make their way in the world a little bit better than it was for them and make it better for their kids. So the cycle continues, and what happens is poor people don't have money to go out to the bowling and go out and go to the movies and go to Disney World and go to all these different places. Poor people ain't got money to do that.
Right.
They do have something that they could do for free, and that's have relations with one another. We'll go back to ignorance, unprotected relations.
Oh, don't even go there. Don't even go there. That's the Brookings Institute's blueprint right there. Terry, thank you. I got to go to the BPS Traffic Center, but you were going right there to the Brookings Institute, and you're 100% right. Do not have sex or children before you get married. Brookings Institute, and that's not a conservative site. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark.
What's the rule? Get a high school degree and don't have a child out of wedlock.
That's right.
That's a huge thing.
Brookings Institute. That's what they tell us. Like the blueprint to stay out of poverty is that don't get married too early, don't have children too early. Make sure you get an education first, at least a high school degree.
There you go. Well, pretty basic. Yeah. Some great advice here on these calls, huh?
I know. I'm loving it.
Seriously, yeah. Good topic today.
Thank you.
If you're heading into Hartford right now, Reese, if you're on the southbound side of I-91, you're going to see delays in Hartford from 33 down to 32 A and B, and again, delays 27 down to 28. Northbound side 91, easy ride. Cromwell up into Winter. Westbound 84 slowing just after 56 out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound slowing a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue up to 48 Capitol Avenue. 2 westbound tight from exit 4 to the 84 West merge. If you're heading 84 eastbound, east of the river, a little slow, 58 to 59 into 384 interchange. 291, 384 moving well. Heading into Middletown, 9 northbound, slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. Seeing delays, 84 eastbound, Waterbury by 18, and again, Mixed Master out to exit 23. More delays on the westbound side of 84 Cheshire into Waterbury from exit 26 up to exit 22. 84 eastbound, Danbury tight, New York, Connecticut line to 5. 84 eastbound again, slowing from 8 in Danbury out to exit 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway delays 63 down to 60 in Hamden. 95 southbound, you're slowing from the Q Bridge down to 44 in New Haven. And 91 southbound, you got delays from exit 6 down in toward the 95 interchange. Road closure right now in South Windsor. Route 5 shut down between Sullivan Avenue and Kimberly Avenue from an accident that occurred earlier today. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
A pleasant afternoon with a mix of clouds and sunshine in progress. The high of 77. Tonight with some patchy clouds around. A nice night for sleeping with the low down to 56. Partly sunny, pleasant end of the week for Friday with the high of 82. A nice breeze out of the west. Saturday, partly sunny. Beautiful start to the weekend. A great late summer weekend upcoming. The high of 85. Partly sunny on Sunday. The high right back to 85. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
5:30, 75 degrees in Hartford. I'm John Silva. Tonight, Vice President Harris accepts the nomination of the Democratic Party for president. We will carry her remarks live on WTIC News Talk 1080 beginning at 9. Former President Trump spent part of the day in Arizona along the southern border. While there, Trump said he would welcome an endorsement from Robert F. Kennedy Jr. There's word Kennedy may abandon his independent bid for the White House and support Trump. The former president's running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, spent time in Georgia talking about the migrant crisis today. Man and woman in East Hartford are dead, and police are calling it a murder-suicide. Couple was found with gunshot wounds Wednesday night in a home on Hilltop Farms Lane. Another adult inside was not injured. A woman in Woodstock is facing over 100 counts of animal cruelty. Tracy Donovan is charged. State troopers say numerous dogs and other animals were in varying stages of neglect and had not eaten or been given water. An arrest has been made in the death of an infant in Milford. The baby was found in a tub in a room at the Mayflower Motel on Wednesday. Now Dale Kirkland of Bridgeport faces charges of risk of injury and cruelty to persons. Updated COVID-19 vaccines are on the way. The FDA approved new shots from Pfizer and Moderna, and the companies are set to begin shipping millions of doses. The shots are cleared for adults and children as young as 6 months, and health authorities hope far more Americans get them this year. Markets finished a down day on Thursday. Dow lost 177 points. NASDAQ was down 299, and the S&P gave back 50. Red Sox idled tonight. They'll open a 3-game series at Fenway tomorrow against Arizona. Pregame here at 6:10. Yanks finished off the Guardians this afternoon 6-0. The Mets have a late one tonight on the coast in San Diego. Yard Goats start a series with Richmond, 6:35 on the Odyssey app. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as access to product experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
She posted about us just now.
Celebrities can't get enough of Beyonce's bespoke skincare line.
She has 147 million followers. How do we monetize?
She needs a social media associate to help her with the hype.
We should repost this. Do we need a hashtag?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use
1 minute.
ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience efficiency and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's the 5 o'clock focus. It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm just Jenny getting a divorce. Jennifer Lopez getting another divorce. Like, first of all, this is the Beat Nuts beat. Song's called Off the Hook. Jennifer Lopez just used it for Jenny on the Block. Ironically, Ben Affleck was in the music video with her. And that was the first time they got married. And then they were remarried. And now they're getting divorced again. I guess Jennifer filed on the 2-year anniversary. Not that I care. It's not that big of a deal. I guess the celebrity nonsense is getting so nonsensical that even stories like this don't even interest me anymore. It's just not. It just doesn't. It doesn't interest me at all. And I was over that story, and I know I've told this story before. I don't care. I'll tell it again. There was a guy who was a Pulitzer Prize-winning photographer from Life magazine, and there was an article. It was back in 2004, and there was a little snippet in the Hartford Courant, written by the Associated Press inside the Hartford Courant about this guy who was a photographer who had died of a heart attack. And I read the story, and I read that he was again, Pulitzer Prize-winning photographer from Life magazine. And he died of a heart attack trying to climb a fence in Savannah, Georgia, to get a sneak peek and a photograph of Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck when they were down there filming that god-awful movie, Jiggly. I guess they bought a house down there or was renting a house down there. That poor guy, and it felt so awful that this guy had all of these accolades, and he passed away taking a photo of these two. And I was like, ugh. And I'm glad it was only a snippet. It was just, I kind of felt awful. It's like, you don't want that to be your legacy. A paparazzi photo of those two? I just felt so awful for it. Just him. It was just horrible. I just felt bad. And I wish I could win a Pulitzer. You think you'd ever catch me hopping a fence to catch a picture of Brangelina or something? That would be insane. I couldn't believe it. If you could win any award in the world, Mark Christopher, at a BPS Traffic Center, what would be, what's your Oscars for the traffic?
I don't know if there is one.
Would it be a Marconi for you just as well?
A Marconi would
it would be a Marconi,
sweet.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you go? How about Radio Hall of Fame?
Oh, that'd be tremendous.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. To be honest with you, I have small dreams about that. Sometimes I go, I wonder if I'd ever.
Well, Bob Steele's in the National Radio Hall of Fame. The morning guy here from 55 years. So
I'm like I said, not that I'd ever get there, but don't get me wrong. I'm like I look at it and just go, I think I would. I would hope to get that, even if I had to get it minutes before I were to pass. For those last 15 minutes, they were like, oh.
I finally made it in.
Exactly, recognized.
Now I can close my eyes.
Exactly. Can't take that away from me.
Right.
Oh, there he goes. He had to play it.
What's this, divorce number 4 for her?
Oh, goodness gracious. Who wouldn't she marry? She married dancers, backup dancers of all things. I think Chris Judd was a backup dancer. Then it was some Ione.
Mark Anthony.
Yeah, Mark Anthony.
Mark Anthony was the marriage that lasted for the longest.
The
10
longest,
years.
yeah. And he's from the Upper East Side, from El Barrio. Mark Anthony, that's a tough dude. And trust me, in the hood.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with him.
Oh, you don't want to mess with Mark Anthony. He's well known. Mark Anthony's the dude.
He's a tough guy. He lasted with her.
Let's just say he's not a tough guy, but let's just say he's got people around him.
Oh,
you know that old line. He's like, I know some people who robbed some people.
Yeah. Well, Reese, I got you, so I
there you
feel
go.
Pretty protected.
That's
I got
right.
You.
No doubt.
I got you. I can call in a favor every now and then. Reese, I need a little favor here.
Absolutely. I will give you gas money to get the hell out of that neighborhood.
Thank you. If you're heading into Hartford right now, westbound side of 84, you're tied up now, approaching the Berkeley Bridge up to 45 Flatbush Avenue, 84 eastbound, slowing 46 to 48 Capitol Avenue. If you're traveling southbound 91, delays 33 to 32, a little slow down by exit 28. Northbound side of 91, a little slow now as you move up between exit 20 and 21, Middletown into Cromwell. After that, you're looking good up into Hartford and Windsor. 291, 384, no issues. 2 eastbound, moving well into Glastonbury. Quiet Middletown. 84 eastbound, Waterbury tied up, approaching 18 out to exit 23 in Waterbury. Eastbound 84 slowing in Danbury from the New York, Connecticut line to 3. Again, delays 8 in Danbury out to exit 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway delays 62 to 60 in Hamden. 95 southbound, you're slowing Q Bridge down to 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For tonight, just some patchy clouds. Be a nice night for some sleep. The low down to 55 degrees. Then a beautiful end of the week on Friday. Mostly sunny skies. The high of 82. Saturday, partly sunny. Beautiful start to the weekend and a great late summer weekend ahead. The high of 85.
You still got calls for the focus, or you want me to move on?
Sunny again on Sunday. Heading into the new week on Monday, a mix of clouds and...
Who you talking to?
You!
Oh.
I was like, we still got calls for the focus, or you want me to move on?
You got Ron and Wayne.
Okay, all right, I'll take them.
78 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Don't just live with foot pain. Find the Good Feet store nearest you at goodfeet.com.
Tune in to WTIC News Talk 1080 for Healthy Rounds, Saturday mornings 11 till noon. Learn from the top experts about the latest medical news and call in with your questions. Healthy Rounds, sponsored by Hartford Healthcare, Saturday mornings 11 till noon on WTIC News Talk 1080 and WTIC.com.
Hi, Eric Hogarth with Johnson Brunetti. Tune in this week for Money Wisdom, where we'll talk about market volatility. Should you be terrified? Do you have a plan? Do you need a plan? Yes. Tune in this Saturday at 8:30 a.m. right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I
lines now.
Houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
For eligible individuals, 18 and Very see website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Selects Premium Package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home, all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better.
You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge.
Oh, you people are wonderful.
Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids at checkout. Just go to JabraEnhance.com/try. That's JABRA Enhance.com/try. JabraEnhance.com/try.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
And we're back. Reese on the Radio. I'd like to give you my impersonation of the speech tonight by Kamala Harris. Goes a little something like this. That's my view of the speech tonight. Let's get back to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. Ron's in East Windsor. Hello, Ron. You're on Reese on the Radio.
Good afternoon, Reese. So I've been thinking about long and hard what you said, and I've been thinking about this for a while. The government keeps you poor. Everybody. And let me explain.
Okay.
I got a good job. I got a decent job. I make good money. I look at my paycheck. I'm able to get overtime. I look at my paycheck if I work 45 hours, if I work 55 hours. There's not much of a difference. The more you make, the more they take.
That's right.
And also, if you make a little bit more money, you're not assumed to the advantage that some people who make less than you do. You know, I have to pay for insurance. There's a lot of people out there on state with actually their state insurance covers a lot more than insurance that I make. So what I'm trying to say is the government, no matter how much you make, keeps 99% of us all on an even keel.
Yeah.
You know, you really can't make a lot because they take a lot.
Ron, you should listen to a song by KRS-One. It's called Who Are the Pimps? Have you ever heard of it?
I have not.
You got to listen to the song because there's my favorite line. He says, they cut your check and take a tip. Don't want to hear you no lip about support of family because on a piece of paper, that's a fantasy. You got to hear the first verse of that song. Who Are the Pimps? It just talks about the government. It's one of the best songs KRS-One ever wrote. Talks exactly about what you're talking about.
You get your bosses all hyped up for, hey, I'm going to offer you 5 hours extra overtime. No, thanks. I'm not giving it to the state.
It's, you know, you're 100% right. That's, you know, again, another perfect example, if I could, Ron, I remember I was arguing with guys at Occupy Wall Street, talking to them about Barack Obama's 39.6% tax on anyone making $250,000 or more. And that was even in a dual income household. So if you and your wife were making $250,000 a year, your combined salary, he wanted 39.6% of your money, which equaled $90,000. And I said, if anyone had the opportunity, like if you and your wife together were making $240,000 and both of you got a raise, and a smart person would have told their boss, no, thank you. Because once I get over that threshold, I'm only going to lose it.
Yeah, if you go try to get a car loan, any kind of loan, they go by your gross pay, which you don't bring that home anyway.
Exactly.
Like I said, you're not subject to the advantages of people who make less than you. So, like I said, that kind of keeps everybody on even keel.
Yep.
So we're all at the mercy.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Thank you, Ron. Much appreciated. Let's go to Wayne and Morris. Hello, Wayne. You're on Reese on the Radio.
Hey, Reese. I've got something to say, in regard to poor people being poor and so forth. And I'm 74 years old. I lived through a lot of history, and there's a phrase from the 60s and 70s that I wouldn't feel comfortable talking to anyone else but you about this, because I know you'll understand the context I mean it in. But do you remember when there was a phrase called, the N-word rich?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
We call it Negro Riche.
It was white people were also called this too.
Right.
When they irresponsibly came into money and spent it on ridiculous things.
Yep.
And that phrase was, quite common, used both ways, just to show irresponsibility, with money for however you came into it.
Absolutely. It's like parking a Lamborghini in the projects.
Exactly. And there was another one that went around at the same time that said, well, they didn't have enough money to buy a crib for the new baby, so the baby sleeps in a box, the new color TV, just name it.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Do you remember that stuff?
Yeah.
And it was all based, unfortunately, on seeing what was happening around you. That people were just, poor people, when they came into money, they needed instant gratification to show themselves.
That's right.
And they did something that they thought was cool, or they thought was going to impress their neighbor or whatever. But they didn't do was pay the back rent, put food on the table for
Yep.
the family. You know, that
Or a
kind of-
rainy day fund. Or a rainy day
right,
fund.
right. And unfortunately, this perpetuated.
Yep.
And it just continued to perpetuate. And educating, people who didn't understand how to handle money wasn't something the schools were interested in doing.
No, that's right. I'll never forget I remember my last year in high school, I had an economics teacher, and I remember asking my own kids when they were old enough if they had economics classes in their school, and they looked at me like I had three heads. Economics?
Right.
Like, just like, they never even heard anything about that.
The thing was, my parents started getting a savings account. I was 14 years old when I got my first savings account.
Yeah.
And it was a big deal where you went to the bank and you made your deposit,
Yep.
And maybe it was only $2 Grandma gave you for your birthday or whatever, but there was just some pride in it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
indeed.
And-
Wayne, I got to move on because I got other people on hold, but I appreciate your sentiment. And you are 100% spot on with everything you said. Let's go to Mike in Plainville. Hello, Mike. You on Reese on the Radio?
It's attitude is number one.
Yep.
And independent thinking would be the second.
I'd agree.
Most important quality to have, because people with attitudes, you're not going to get it done.
Yeah.
Baseball, if you're on deck and you see this guy and he's throwing hard, he's throwing 102 miles an hour with a good breaking ball, and you say, I can't hit this guy, you're done. Forget it. Get up there and try.
That's right. Yeah,
People are willing to go the extra yard, whether it's a rope climb or a 4-mile run. Anything.
Yep.
Okay, people today, they're trying to take shortcuts.
It's so funny you say that. It's so funny you say that, Mike, because that's one of the biggest problems. The afraid to fail is where we are with a lot of our young people and some people, older people. The afraid to fail. People won't even invest in certain things because they're afraid of failure. I don't think I can afford to lose that.
You're talking to a man that's failed many times, and I got through it.
That's
Not
right.
many times, but enough times to learn. And I'm almost 70, and I'll tell you what, I haven't enjoyed going to work more than I do now.
I hear that. Listen, I've failed more times than I've succeeded. Trust me. And I think that
exactly me too. Yeah,
it's made me a better man. Thank you, Mike. Let's go to Dave in Lynchville. Hello, Mike. Hello, Dave. Sorry. Hello, Dave.
Hey, Reese. Listen, it's interesting listening to your story coming from such poverty and making it. Dave Ramsey, the financial advice guy, was talking about it. He said that, people say we can't make it in America today. Most of the wealthy inherited their money. He says, no, that's not true. Like 88% of the wealthy are first-generation rich. They start off as poor or middle class.
That's right.
They built it themselves. And I guess that stat is still true.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what I know that I've got a copy of the book in my truck. I just took it out from a local library. What's the Matter with Kansas by Thomas Frank, a scholar and historian. He explains how for years the Democrats have been doing a number on the working class.
Yep.
And the white working class has been drifting over to the Republicans. And initially, they didn't even know what was going on, the Democrats. And now their attitude was, well, no, that's not happening. Now they see that happening. I think they're letting illegal aliens in here to try and swell their voter ranks.
Absolutely.
So you said that the black working class and black Americans are drifting over to the Republicans now. The Democrats are losing them, huh?
Yeah, and they have to lose them because, again, look, you can't keep selling poverty to a group of people who are trying to get economic stability. That's the one thing that people have recognized. And guess what? What's happening to Donald Trump today in the black community is something that has always been a part of Donald Trump's relationship with the black community. The black community, hip hop in general, has always seen Donald Trump's opulence as attractive. I can name you tons of rap songs that refer to Donald Trump as the man in hip hop, right? There's a song called Black Trump by Raekwon and Smith & Wesson. You can actually look it up. The song's called Black Trump. And the objective of the song, or to talk about the song, is how they can reach the status of Donald Trump. That's always been attractive to people in that community. Donald Trump, as over the top that he is, like buying gold toilets. People look at that and go, yeah, that's ridiculous and kind of gauche. But to people in the African-American community, everyone wants that status. That opulence is appealing, and that's what you're seeing today. You can't tell people to stay poor. You can't. You can't tell them to do that and say that you're going to be happy doing it, because if they've experienced it all their life and they're miserable, they have to naturally flow or at least go with the money. That's what they're doing today. Ask them. They'll tell you.
One other thing is they assume, this is a fatal mistake for the Democrats, I think. They assume that all Spanish speakers are love them and will go with Democrat automatically.
Yep, and they immediately on the side of illegal immigration. And I found out the hard way. Nope, it's the opposite altogether. Let me take one more. Thank you, Dave. Is this Wall Street Joe again?
Yes.
Joe? Yes. Okay, real quick. You got a minute. What do you got, Joe?
I got interrupted by Trump earlier, as you know.
I know.
I called then really to tell you I got a stock tip, and I got a news flash about the Trump campaign. The stock tip, I got back into UVIX yesterday at 444. Today it got up to about 490. Market's selling off again, as you saw it today. Jerome Powell's going to give a big news conference tomorrow about the future and those fraudulent numbers on the job report, the 891,000.
Yeah.
He's going to be facing that tomorrow. You're going to see the market get hit tomorrow. And here's the news flash for you personally. I saved it for you. Got word to Corey Lewandowski. Trump is not going to have tax tips on
tax on tips?
Tax on tips and no tax on seniors with Social Security.
Yep.
We're sending him this thing, and I'm sure he's going to adopt it, and you heard it here. No tax on overtime. It's going to stimulate the
Really?
People will not work overtime these days because it puts them in a higher tax bracket. Oh, it's going to be all taxes, and they shy away from overtime. No tax on overtime. You're going to see that happen in the coming weeks.
Okay.
You heard it first.
You got it. Listen, we will keep an eye on it. That's a big one. Thank you, Joe. Much appreciated, Joe. Thanks for calling in. I want to thank everybody for calling in, everybody who opined. Bushwhacker says that it's like high percentage of lottery winners that are broke within a few years of winning. That is so evident. But you know what? It's funny, Bushwhacker. Many people think that money is the root of all evil. But there's a rapper by the name of Fonte from a group called Little Brother. And he says one line in a rap song I love. He says, they say that money changes you, but money doesn't change you. It just makes you more of what you already are. And that is so true. And I believe that, if you're a person who doesn't know how to spend money, if you get a lot of it, you won't know how to spend it. Doesn't matter how much you have. If you can't manage money, you won't be able to manage it even if you have billions. It's just the way it goes. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. But before I do that, let me say radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the Radio. Again, he is Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Good night, Mark.
Plan your work and work your plan.
You were fantastic today. Everything I threw at you, you came back.
That is, those are definitely words to live by. No question about it. Reese, have a great night.
Thank you, man.
If you're heading into downtown Hartford right now and you're on the westbound side of 84.
All right, sir. Get ready to air those grievances tomorrow.
Indeed. Can't wait.
I may have a couple.
All right, no doubt.
That looks real good now.
All right, buddy.
West
All right, enjoy your night.
Thank you, man. You
out
too.
Into the East Hartford and Manchester exit. Southbound 91 slowing 33 down to 32 A and B. Northbound side of 91 moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor.
All right, everybody online, Virginia, and what's happening in Virginia and Alabama already? Oh, that's happening in Virginia and Alabama. Oh, is it really? I did not know that. Well, that's good to know. Anyway, all right, thank you, folks. It's time for me to get up out of here. I'm probably going to go to bed early, even though I'm gonna actually take a nap and then wake up for the Kamala Harris speech. Don't forget, if you wish to chime in, if you've got the over and under over 30 minutes, under 30 minutes, how many minutes do you think? And what time will the speech air, before or after 11 o'clock? You can only have a 3-minute window. 3-minute window on the time. So if you pick 10:42 and she comes out at 10:45, you win. T-shirt. So all you have to do is go to reasonoradio.com and put it in. We got plenty of people in there. And we'll give the winner tomorrow, or the winners, I should say, tomorrow. Thank you, guys. You guys be good.